looking for like alchemical or random like items, like magical items and whatnot. Like Tinker kind of makes on his own, so he's kind of giving a pass to things like that because he's kind of got his own like shtick going on with that. But specifically, like other items he can just have to like make concoctions and help in weird scenarios. That's what he is most interested in.
All right, so I want to throw this out there. I'm wondering what you guys are thinking in terms of tonight's session, where we're down a good amount of people. I mean, we can go forward, but like there's, as we're getting into it, it's kind of some stuff where I don't mind doing certain things, or we can do, some playing around and discussions of some other stuff. Because, yeah, I mean, you guys are going to be starting to interact and get involved with some of the gangs, I guess, if you will, the powers that are out there, and I'm just curious to kind of get everyone on, or at least the vast majority on. I'd rather have 80% than just over half. But I'm up for whatever.
I think that what I would like Tinker to do, like this is me extrapolating, but I think that what I would like Tinker to do is that, like, after we, do whatever we're gonna do to collect from the scene here, and then exit stage right, so that like if authorities show up, nobody's like so kind of cover our tracks, as it were. I think Tinker would be very interested in doing some research and trying to find if there's like a local historical authority that he could kind of dig into with like books or writing about like these factions, and if there's more information about them and their general like protocol. Like you gave a good job, like you did, can't even speak, a great job last week with the Thadar. They're the fighters, the Gaiden, their trade, new Nunarim, and that's like the question mark. But I'm just curious if there's like historical context for like knowing more about them, and that's like if we're having like a lay low week, that's what Tinker would want to try to find.
Yeah. So just to answer that, basically there isn't going to be really historical significance to this, just because of the entire concept of these guys, where it's kind of in the shadows, I guess, if you will. Even the Theodar, who are the warriors and the power of, the most kind of more in your face power ones, it's still like, yeah, I mean, but not like, if you wouldn't want like, so okay, I'm coming up with different ways, but like, if an army came in,
like,
and was just like,
maybe it's not in like a maybe it's not in a library, right? Like maybe it's not in an archive, but rather maybe Tinker can use his. I gotta go back and look. What was his background? Features and traits. What was his background? The dungeon delver, right? Like, so like maybe he's got some connections in the city because of like antics he's done before, where he could ask some questions to get some more information. Maybe not a lot, like not like like a whole like trove of information, but just like maybe on one faction get a little more data. That's all.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some stuff that you'd be able to get from these guys, or not necessarily from these guys, but just in terms of you might be able to. Oh, what's the downtime activity that I'm thinking? I mean, there's like sowing rumors and that sort of stuff, but like gathering intel. Like you could do that sort of. Excuse me, going around, talking to different people, getting your informants. Hey, have you heard what's going on with the Goiden? What's their power structure looking like? You know, the Noonarim. What's their deal?
Yeah, I think that if there's the opportunity for this being kind of a downtime week or something like that, that's what I would like Tinker to try and do, whether that's roles or whatever. I think that's what I'm interested in Tinker trying to get into, and not overtly like, hey, I'm like, hey, everybody, does anyone know about it? Like, not like that. Just sort of like trying to be as subtle as possible. Oh my God, this looks like a fucking port town that's being attacked.
Well, it's not being attacked, but yes.
But yes.
So, you guys, because I'm still gonna have you over in the alley, but just because I'm gonna say where we are. We're kind of paused over there at the moment. And any questions that you have, you can ask, because it's something where I'll say that you would have been able to ask that stuff and find out, and that's something that could have led into that fight. So it's not anything where there's like, oh, no, you have to do that now. A lot of this stuff too, you guys already know a lot of the goings on in here, which is why you guys are being sought out, or, like I said, potentially sought out, or sought out as, a trophy for others.
Yeah. Was there a check, or was there something that we could do to know more about that group honestly, I thought that was a recruitment episode, and it quickly did not turn into that. So, was there something we could do to maybe like get an idea of who that was, whether it was like an independent contractor or somebody tied to something?
So, yes, but at this point, I'm going to hold off on that, just because I want to kind of push that off until, if we were just down Jen, that would be one thing, but where we're down Jen and Mike, I want to kind of hold off just a little bit and, get stuff over to you guys kind of all at once and everything, seeing exactly all that's happening.
Okay.
Because things are going to unfold, and you are there is some stuff like I already had planned, where it's just like, everything that you guys were talking about doing and everything like that. I did want to show you guys the map of the town. Obviously, that's where I have your characters sitting right now. This is Hectrase.
Hectrase?
Yes.
Okay.
Or city. Port. Town. Port city. It's pretty large, so we can say city. Some basic stuff that you guys know, and I'll go over some of this more, but this is the area of kind of the nobles, the rich. Not really a lot to that you guys, and I don't want to say this too much, but people in your situation are really dealing with. You guys don't really end up going here except when someone gets out of line and the light is shining on them, and they're brought there to be kind of punished and stuff like that. This is where you've got the figurehead sort of ruler, whereas the town is really being ruled, as I was saying, in the past by the Parunti. But now it's that they were working kind of hand in hand, and everything else is now up in the air. But these guys are still kind of the figurehead power. That part hasn't changed, and that's in this section. The rest, that's where things are up for grabs a bit. And you guys right now, because are over in an alley over like this way. And let's get, where's my handy dandy little token? Because there are a couple things that you guys were on your way to the tavern that you spend most of your time. I shouldn't say most of your time, but that's where you kind of gather and take care of yourself.
Did we have a name last week? Was it Roar? No. What was our name last week?
Yeah, Rar.
Rar.
Because it was what? Rogue? Warlock?
Rogue, Artificer, Warlock, Rogue. We got a Zorlock. I think both the other ones are rogues.
Okay, so we're Roar. And is there? Do we for the three that are here tonight think that there's a tavern that we stop by, like the Ale and Nail or something?
Sounds like you'll get lucky. I don't know.
So that is something that I was assuming that you guys did have that, because it was something where you guys have. I mean, in all of this stuff, everything that you've been doing, you have somewhere that you are familiar with. The town isn't new to you. You've got a specific place, and I put it right over here.
So, I guess this would be like time to flesh out our backstories, I guess, on maybe like why we are high priority. Like, maybe we weren't associated with the Burgundy, but we were. Would you say like mercenaries or like just people
That's
hire?
kind of exactly where I was thinking. Like, you didn't really make a commitment, but it was something that you didn't need to. It was like, okay, you would come in, and however you guys want to handle it. If you guys just happen to group up, if you guys knew each other beforehand, and like ended up coming to town, if you were running from somewhere else, if you grew up here and bumped into each other, that's kind of, that could be whatever you guys choose for it to be. And yeah, I'm thinking that, just like you were saying, you guys were kind of mercenaries that you were respected enough by the Perunti, but it was never anything where a lot of it wasn't that it had necessarily grown stagnant is more the better word, where everything was in place. So, whatever. The money was coming out. You didn't have to make a commitment. You went in, you did a job, you got paid for it. All right, we're good. That nothing more to see here. That's fine. I don't have to make any commitment beyond that as long as the money's coming in. And now that the Perunti are gone, the money's no longer coming in, and there's more of an expectation of loyalty and a further commitment from these other groups to make sure that there is a certain level of loyalty and that your power is added to their power as opposed to is weighed up against their power. Oh, excuse me. So any thoughts on that with you guys? Were you from this town? Were some of you from the town?
I think Tinker's been here for a hot minute, if not longer. I think Tinker's found, Tinker tinkers. That's what he does. He's interested in uncovering secrets, uncovering knowledge, uncovering things that would make him smarter. And anyone who's willing to pay him or give him what he needs to uncover that, he's down. And so maybe that's what kind of gave him that outlier of not having to be tied to a faction, was that he was just a free agent that was like, listen, I'll readily give back whatever I find. I just want to be able to know about it. That's his drive.
So, my question for you, because even in this sort of town, a goblin being here is still kind of like, really? You have made a name for yourself, so it's not so far out of the question. It's just like, no, the fucking goblin that rides in a robot, yeah, that's that guy. Or I've heard of him, or it's like, oh yeah, something about that. But do you have any thoughts on how that necessarily came to be where you first got there? Was it with the group, or?
I don't think it was with the group. I think that Tinker was probably discovered by someone, whether it was somebody in one of these guilds or just somebody who, didn't kick him for a minute and noticed that he was putting things together or trying to put things together in the garbage, and gave him an well, maybe that was it, and kind of invited him in to find a place. And as soon as he realized that he wasn't getting kicked or beaten, or didn't have to like wait for somebody to drop a scrap to find in the street, he immediately moved in. And maybe that's what connects him to one or multiple members of RAR, is that gave him that out, that gave him that in. But as soon as he realized he had the ability and the resources to start to build a defense around himself, that's what led to him starting to construct the piecemeal armor that is all over him.
You definitely have a skill set that the town would be appreciative of, even though they don't appreciate you as a goblin. They're like, oh, he's a tinkerer, he's an engineer. You've been here for a while, but you're
I can
still
fix things. Just don't hit me.
And that's definitely something where it's like, yeah, you are, even by those who don't want to necessarily accept you, they're kind of, I don't know what the word, it's kind of right there for me, but they begrudgingly
an
are just like
truce, or an uneasy acceptance.
Yeah, I feel like acceptance might even be a strong word for those people, but they begrudgingly acknowledge your worth.
Usefulness.
You know, it's but that first like, how'd you get there first? It's like, all right, cool.
And so I'm leaving that intentionally blank in the sense
Of course,
that, like,
things can open up in the game, and then it's just like, oh, that's the thing that, because that in me, that it's a show. Absolutely, that can absolutely be the case. It's not like, write your stuff, and if it doesn't match up, well, shut up, idiot.
Yeah, but with that said, I also think that if Roar, and when we say Roar, I don't know who is our figurehead. It clearly isn't Tinker, but whoever the figurehead of Roar is, that was the Laurel branch. That was the extended hand. That maybe is what brought Tinker into coming into cohesion or working with this group.
Yeah. And that can be explored a little bit more too. So it's not anything where this is, it's set in stone. That's it. You are stuck with this guy.
You're all stuck with me.
Right. All right. Who else might have something?
I would have found Lewis first if I'm going to be copying him.
Okay. Yeah.
That feels right. I would say that not like, yeah. I feel like what is it? Like, he would probably be one of the only people to have seen my self without being disguised, unless anyone else saw me get knocked out and I'm not. Well, actually, as we learned in Pirates, even if you get knocked out, you're disguised still for like an hour, so I don't even need to focus on it.
Right.
So yeah, he would be one of the only people to see me in my true form, and then any time that I wouldn't be copying him directly, I would still pose as a human, just because that's easier than being like, oh, I'm a Genasi. So
yep.
I have a quick question. So the image that's on right now is of your character, TJ?
That's of
technically
Chris's character.
Technically, that was him. This one is Chris's.
Okay. Well, so I'm sorry. So the reason I was going to say that was Chris had at one point talked to us about running a Rifts game, and that looks like what a Rifter would look like. There's this class of people that just like basically grab ley lines and rip themselves around wherever they want and get super pumped up by them, and that's what that would look like. But
I really like this picture, the one that I chose right here, and I chose it just because it looked cool. But now that I have it like, enlarged, and it's just kind of funny that he kind of is doing like the Gotham hand symbol.
I also like the like you have one badge that's on your chest.
Got him! Bam! Bashing someone with the fucking magic punch.
Well, there's like a dragon badge on your chest that looks like it's breathing flame. That's pretty cool. But the one that's like on your hip just looks like a happy frog that's kind of like sticking its tongue out.
Trying to see it.
Sticking his tongue out. On like the middle belt, dragon fire at the top.
Well, so there's three like circles on this guy, right?
The like biggest one.
Like his it would be his left. To us, it's his right chest. Looks like a dragon worm or something. There's one that's kind of nondescript. That's like at a I guess like a sternum level like belt or something. And then there's one on his hip, and to me it just looks like a frog that's like like just sticking his tongue out.
Yeah, it's kind of like a side view of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's almost hanging out the right side of the frog's mouth.
Yes.
And it's almost like a silhouette image with like the sun setting in the background of the other red.
Oh, you really described it great there. I like it. I like it. I
I
was just thinking it was just color.
it took
but
it took a little bit for me to really see what you were seeing, so I really wanted to paint the picture for everyone
You know what?
as I finally saw it.
I liked it. I liked it.
All right, so you, TJ, your character is a warlock, and Chris, your character is a warlock as well as sorcerer, but two warlocks. Are you guys warlocks of the same style?
No.
I'm a hexblade.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I am. My patron's a genie, and it's literally. I think you joked about it at the beginning, but it was my idea as well. Is father.
Right.
There you go.
I forgot that I had said that, but the first thing that came to mind when you said genie was, it's your dad. It's like, oh yeah, so that, there's no way to escape that regardless. It's like, no, it's actually no, it's your fucking dad.
Oh, 100%. I was on the same page with that.
Yeah.
And so my idea with this is that I chose. It's been changing back and forth, but I'm gonna stick with totem, just because it's like I'm like thinking that I'd be a genie in training type of thing, where I'll have. What I'm going to play it as is that eventually I'll choose someone to give the what did I say? It's not totem. It's like a trinket or a talisman.
Yeah.
Talisman. So as soon as I pick someone to give like a talisman to, it will be like I can give them like powers and stuff like that, or like it's something in like additional. So it's like I'm slowly becoming a patron as well, and that's the angle I want to go for. And of course that's going to be like the journey of like you're obviously far away from that, but as I grow stronger, it's like, oh, here, I can make you more powerful if you follow me. So I'm trying to like
I like
ascend to kind of ascend to geniehood. So,
I had a thought today about another like possible character build for 5e, and that is where barbarians get, like, depending upon what you take, barbarians get the like resistances. Like I think it was totem that got the most resistances or whatever it was.
bear.
The bear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the bear. But what if you did the opposite end of that? So like kind of the
And
opposite
got weaknesses to everything except psychic.
Got weakness. No, you got weaknesses, but as you got weak and you took more damage, it allowed you to power up and deal more damage. And my thought was that like as you built, it went from like a D4 to a D12, kind of like a monk die, and like every time you got hit by something, you took it, but you chose what you were specifically weak to, and you became vulnerable to it. So you took like an additional amount of damage, but that meant that you took additional like dice that you could deal back as damage. So you really were a glass cannon at that point. But I was like, that's pretty dope. Like I had that thought today, and I thought that would be a cool thing to try and like flesh out at some point.
That is really cool.
Cannon barbarian.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting term for a barbarian.
It's like you just beat the hell out of them, and then as soon as it's his turn, you're like, no, God, no.
Oh God, no. Yeah,
It's
like there. What was there was an anime I watched once, and Kevin, you and I talked about this, where there was a fight at the beginning of it, and one of the fighters like pulls out a sword and like does like a cleave with it, and it cuts like an entire forest down. Like it's just
Seven
like,
Deadly
"Whoom!"
Sins.
Yes, Seven Deadly Sins. That's what it was.
Full counter.
And I was just like, that's what like a 20th level barbarian's attack should be. Like that is it, right? But there's got to be some fallback to it, and this was my thought today about that while I was thinking about it. So, but this is off topic, so I'm sorry.
No, it's all a little off topic most of the time.
We're all off topic.
Chris,
That's what this session's for.
do you have any insights on your character? Maybe how you might have met Wisp. Maybe not. Not trying to put you on the spot. or anything that, where your character's going, where they came from, where did they come from? Cotton Eye Lewis Cipher.
Cotton Eye Joe
And
Cypher.
and I apologize. I felt it coming. I don't even like the song, but I felt like I should try and make the reference, even though it was very forced, and I hate the song.
Kevin, you're forcing me. I gotta do something else now.
I hope it's not Play Cotton Eye Joe.
Nope, it's not. Don't worry about
Tom just gets up and starts dancing.
Cotton Eye Joe in the distance.
Mhm.
No, I haven't really thought about how he. You're a dork.
You're welcome.
I haven't given any thought to how necessarily he meets the group per se, but he uses the costume because he is a half drow.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
So, with that, is there anything that goes with you being half drow in terms of a background, mother, father? Any thought into that, or?
Mother is human, father is drow. Seem to make the most amount of sense because he wouldn't be accepted by either
Yes.
culture. So I just figured it was something more along the lines of, whether it be a raiding party or what have you of drow. The mother got raped and he was the result.
Yeah.
And he was, since he was raised, basically by his mom on her own, without, a lot of community support and whatnot. He was raised to worship the Raven Queen.
Ooh, nice.
Which is where everything kind of, comes from, the plague mask and the fact that if he should get to, I think it's 14th level sorcerer, he gets the wings.
Okay.
Because he's got the divine soul.
Yep. So what are you sitting at? 3-2 sorcerer right now?
Yes.
Okay.
And I plan on doing the next level of warlock, and then everything else is sorcerer thereafter.
Okay.
And the only reason why I'm doing the warlock is to do the pack boon.
Do you have
Yes,
an
yes,
idea
yes.
on what you're aiming for level-wise, Kevin?
So, I actually was thinking about this in doing the other game, where I would like to see how far we can get, and I think I want to kind of go through stuff a little faster, so that way we can get more of the whole experience of all the levels. So it's something where it's not going to be really, I'm going to try and have us go through it, and there might be times where it's like, okay, you guys did this, a year passes, you guys gained 4 levels or something, and some things maybe like that way we can kind of continue the story and do different things like that. Now,
so it's milestone at your discretion kind of thing.
Isn't it always?
That's fair.
We've been playing Pirates for 6 months now, and we're having fun, but like we haven't leveled, and we did this and 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 this. It's like, holy shit, you guys have done a lot. Yeah, you can have a level, I guess. You raised an excellent point, Eric. Shit. But yeah, what?
Good thing we invited that guy to the game.
Right. Well, if someone, whoever had just listed out all the different things that had happened, it would have been like, oh shit, yeah, you guys probably should have leveled. But it was just that it was specifically him that was just like, we did this, and this. It's like, oh shit, I haven't leveled you up since then. Yeah, you guys leveled after this combat. That's what was my plan, and I said so. So, but yeah, there's no, I mean, honestly, 20 it is kind of what I'm thinking I'd like to be able to get to. I don't know where that's going to take us in terms of, excuse me, subterfuge game into, is it still going to be that? If you guys are basically gods, does it matter that a merchant, group is like, ha ha ha, we have some power? And it's just like, ha ha ha, we have so much power.
We are the power.
Right. It's like, you guys have to pray to us. It's just like,
I'm a genie now.
Right, exactly.
You're erased. Goodbye.
Who's next? It's just like, he is. It's just like, good choice. Don't volunteer yourself. But you are also erased because of that. It's like, shit.
Oops.
But I wanted to try and just see about, like, in that one shot that we did where it's just like, you know what, fucking 2 months pass, you guys gain 2 levels, or 3, whatever I gave you, and it's just like, yeah, why can't we just kind of do that? There's a time lapse and you guys train in the hyperbolic time chamber. Then now instead of one person going Super Saiyan, most of you can. So that's kind of what my goal is, to try and do that. But that being said, we're going to kind of see where it goes and how it unfolds.
I was going to say there's lots of feats that I want to get, and I'd like trying to figure out which
you'd like to see them.
I want to see them feats.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. No. That the rule stays. It's in Pirates and it's in this one. There's no kink shaming, but except for feet. So if you want to see them feats,
that's what we did.
You have to.
We said we're on the same page.
Right.
What? Yeah. That's what I was wondering, because I was like, I'm not going to be able to use some of these if
if you're only going to get to level 10.
Do we get to, like, start with an additional one, or is there a way to train like we did in Pirates, where we could eventually find a teacher or during downtime train to get additional ones? Just because that would be, like, much better, because I have like 4 in mind, and I'm like, oh, okay, so that's all the levels.
Honestly, I think that what I would love for Tinker along those same lines is getting no? Okay.
No, Tinker doesn't get them.
No, he
already has a robot.
Like getting trained in skills, like,
yeah.
So like getting better. So like he has advantage in stealth, but he's not trained in stealth. Like, he only has his ability modifier in it. He would love to get better in that, right? He would love to get better in like Arcana or medicine or
so
any number of things, kind of things. So
I guess what I'm probably gonna do, because now that you mentioned that, TJ, that's something else. At some point, like in probably the time lapse, the downtimes and stuff like that, it's gonna be something where I'll probably put something together where there's different options, kind of like how you can get an uncommon item or 2 common items. That sort of mentality, where you might be able to train for a feat, or you can train to get expertise in like 2 or 3 skills or something, or regular proficiency in 3 or 4. I mean, I don't know exactly the thing I want to do. Like, you can get a language or 2, and then like 2 or 3 skills, something where it's like there's an equivalency, so that it's like, oh, I got a feat, and it's like, I speak Draconic now which he already did, so it's kind of redundant unless I'm alone and a Draconic thing comes up. But that's cool that you have Sentinel and I can speak Draconic once ever in this campaign.
I think it would be cool though if like as the question we started off tonight is if we find out there's a faction, or if we know there's a mission we're gonna go on, like we're gonna get hired, and before we go on that mission we find out we've leveled up, kind of thing. So we take a moment, decide what we're gonna do, and if one of the options is learn a series of language that could be helpful, that becomes way more like, you know, that becomes a much more favorable thing to take for at least one of us.
Yeah. And just like I was saying with the other one shot that I was running in the meantime when TJ was studying was, if you guys wanted to, because I gave you like an item and like 500 gold, and it was something where if you wanted to take that item and just wait to select it, in certain cases it's just like, yeah, that's fine. You can hold on to it and then just cash that in at a later time. So you don't have to be like, I guess I have to choose this right now. It's like, no. You can pause. Just, you have this one uncommon item, please, voucher that you can check in. Just be like, thank you. Or you can just grab something. You know, that's fine too. Because I think I offered that, and then everyone else who was left on the call was just like, I'm going to choose this, though. It's like, that's fine. That's cool too. Having the item is also excellent. But yes, that's going to be some stuff that is definitely going to be available, because I do want to kind of move this along. Not to, you know, get it over with, but I really want to see stuff going from like, hey, let's get to the powerful, as opposed to just being like, choose a level 20 character. Okay, now I have to build an encounter for it, and then it's just like, okay, like I had one, like we've run like 3 or something of the level 20s, and it's just like, we've never felt like level 20s.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like the fight that TJ just ran, though, where like a level 20 character against a bunch of like CR 10 minions, you're gonna feel like a hero, just like, you know, like the 3 or 4 of you running around on that pirate ship felt like when you were swatting all of like the CR quarter opponents around. But when it's like neck to neck, like the 20 that TJ did that one time, when it was like, all right, create a 20th level character, here's a Baylor, right? No matter what you plotted for, unless you're just like, oh, I took anti-Baylor cream and rubbed it all over myself, like you're going to be
applied directly to the forehead.
Yes, exactly.
Or a very special Vorpal Sword attack.
Yeah, and a crit off of a jump. Because literally, if not for that, you had to get, I think, a 19 or a 20 just to be able to try and attack this guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't pass. So the one option was decapitate this guy first shot, and that was literally the only option with a critical. And okay, I guess we'll do that. That's fine.
Is that what we're doing
You
now?
charge right in.
Now?
I start climbing up stuff. It's just like, what the fuck? And then that was the only option we had. So, but you know, it's funny because as we're talking about this stuff and like really the strength and everything in 5th edition versus other editions, you know, we just in talking about it. Yeah, you guys can have it. You guys get an extra feat.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I don't even know what that's gonna be now.
Oh, exactly.
I'm excited, but I don't even know what that's gonna be.
Oh yeah. But you know, yeah, you guys can have an extra feat because it's something where it's just like, yeah, you have some stuff. A little bit.
I was between. There was one that I know that I wouldn't get that I wanted, but I wouldn't get it because I already have so much.
There's only so many
usually-
4 levels that pass.
Yeah, but then there was also we were talking about a couple feats. It's like, oh, if that, like, this one would be good or this wouldn't be as great, and it's like if I don't have enough to choose from, it's like they should have done like lesser, like major and minor feats, like where you get a feat each like level, where it's like you get this one thing, and it's like, isn't that cool? All right. And then you get the major ones where it's like, you get new spells and stuff. So like, I was gonna pick actor because that would be good for the character
Actor
that I'm
was, that's what I went with Elenoa.
building. Right, exactly. So
I like actor.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I don't really play characters like that often at all. I usually go with the mechanics because that's what I am drawn to. And then when I saw that, I'm like, this is the character I made that has sneak around and can just do these spells to blend in or hide. Then I'm like, all right, actor would be perfect, because if I use disguise self, then having that would just make it so much better. Like, actually make this character work.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, where it's like having the ability to, you don't have to necessarily do stealth checks if no one's looking at you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, no, you can hear that I'm here. I'm right in front of your face, but who cares about that guy? That's that same guy that I just saw. Yeah, anyway. It sounds just like him.
Know what I'm gonna get next time, but just because this is a free one, I'm gonna go with actor now, even though there are other ones I was thinking of. But where is? And then I ended up switching out that when you're in the dark, you can turn invisible as an action. As much as like I like that, I'm like, you can only stand still, and I already know the invisibility spell. So I'm gonna go more that route with the talisman and support with that. And it's minor, but still, it will be good.
So what'd you replace it to?
So instead of like one with the shadows, it's replaced to rebuke of the talisman. When the wearer of your talisman is hit by an attacker that you can see within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to deal 3 psychic damage to the attacker and push it away 10 feet from the wearer of the talisman. So now I'm wearing my own talisman, and if I ever give it to somebody else, there are just neat little side tricks that you could do with the talismans.
Yeah.
All right, let me interrupt for just a quick second. I've been having issues with my back and my neck, and I just can't sit here anymore. So if we're just gonna be hanging out, I'm gonna call it, and then.
Yeah, that's fine. So just like I said, you get a feat. So next week, you can.
Chris, as you depart, just think about it. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I saw that.
All right, cool. We'll see you next week.
All
right, later.
It sounds like it wouldn't have any problems connected to it. That Mage Slayer feat, man.
I mean,
that is a good one.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong, but...
Who? Oh, wow. Okay. And last one. Alright, so we've got 10, 11, 17, 18, and 19 for charismas.
factor just pushed me up 1 for the 19.
Oh, that's disappointing.
That's okay. The next feat.
I was hoping it was
get,
gonna get that it was just like TJ hasn't gotten that yet. So
the next feat I get is gonna be Fey Touched, which will allow me to cast spells for free, and that's what I'm just trying to do with this warlock. Is hey, I don't need to short rest constantly, even though in combat I'm gonna want to. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna spend my, you know, I guess harmful attacks, but I'm at least gonna have something to do. I have something to fall back on. Like right now, I have Shadow Touched, which allows me to turn invisible, and then I also grabbed Inflict Wounds, which is also disgusting if I choose to use that with my own spell slot.
So, I had a question.
Yeah.
What are your guys' thoughts on spell points?
How
Spell
so?
points? Like
So-
non-sorcery points? Like spell points?
Spell points in terms of, instead of spell slots, like you get 4 first level, 4 second level, 4 or 3 third level, wherever we are at any given point, whatever, and then 1 fourth or whatever. So it's something where what you get is you get a certain number of spell points to be able to spend. So it's just like mana. So it's like, instead of spell slots, you get, I'm going to cast this, and it's a 4th level spell, so it costs 4 spell points or whatever. I don't know if it's an actual variant that's based on...
I think so. I think you might want to look into the sorcery points breakdown, because it tries to, from levels 1 through 5, it tries to level it, so it's not like one spell slot would equal 1 point. It would be like 2 points is
Yes.
1, and then I don't know how that would
Exactly.
affect Chris's character.
Yeah, because otherwise it gives way too much leniency for people to just cast like more high level spells that they couldn't otherwise cast.
Oh, I found it. Spell points. It's in the DMG. It's on page 289. Class level. First level spell is your max, and you get 4 spell points. Because I think they give you a guide on... Yeah, okay. Spell point cost. First level is 2 points. Second level is 3 points. Third, 5. Fourth, 6.
What section
Fifth,
is it in? Because I'm looking at it on this online, so I don't have
I think it's creating new character options. So there's creating magic items, creating
Yeah, it's
new
toward the end,
character,
right before the appendix.
Appendix.
modifying a class. So yeah, it's
Variant, spell points. Spell point cost.
Yeah. So
2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Because I mean, I like that idea. Yeah, because I mean, and not necessarily that we have to do it or anything like that. I just wanted to throw it out there because it's like, what are people's thoughts on that? Because I like the idea of just, the spell points.
as a warlock,
That was
I like
the
it.
first thing that came to mind that made me go, but what happens there?
But
It would be, I think, a little complicated to calculate Chris's, because he has so many level 1 slots. I think he has 6, right? He would get 6. I don't know. I don't have his character in front of me because he would have 2 packed magic slots and then all the first level slots.
Yes, he has 6.
So we would have slightly different. I just don't know how it works out.
Yeah,
I'm just
6
saying,
first level and then 2 second level.
As
Yeah, I don't know if
this
you would
is
have
this
more
is
or
off
less
topic,
than
but I'm just gonna say that like as I look through feats and what Tinker could get involved with, because Tinker's like main weapon is the heavy crossbow, I think with the access to an additional feat, I think that I would just make Tinker get very, very good with the heavy crossbow.
Like, what are you adding? Or,
Like I think that my first feat would actually
Good
be,
crossbow feat.
would be like
I can shoot the crossbow with my feet.
No. I'm tossed up between 2 for the first feat. The first feat would either be the hold on, I gotta back up for a sec. The first feat would either be what is it? Crossbow expert, which gives me no disadvantage for being like, you know,
Three
next to the
quarters
target
and
I'm
cover.
shooting. Yep, and reduces that. Or taking oh shit, I just had it and I just moved away from it. Where is it? What is the thing that gives you? Oh, fighting initiate, which would give me access to a +2 to attack with the bow. It basically lets you pick a
Fighter thing.
a fighter fighting style. So I'm like, yeah, why would I not do that? No.
Fight or fight response.
Yeah, a fight or fight response. Well done, Kevin. Well done.
Normally, goblins are fight or bite.
Sometimes.
And that's definitely not true. Mostly they're flight.
In fact, yeah, mostly they're like, "Yeah, I'm out of here. Yeah, see you later."
It's just like, all right, let's go kill. No. There's anything. It's offering resistance. I'm out.
I don't want to do this. No.
And that is fair. Even though these are level 1 heroes, and you could possibly one-shot them for the last time in your pathetic goblin lives.
They could also hurt us.
You could kill them right now.
We just gotta go. You know what's funny was I was driving around with my daughter today trying to come up with Tinker's voice, and I was coming up with every other voice besides this one. And she's like, "Dad, what is that voice?" And I was like, I can't remember what Tinker's voice is." And she goes, and she's like, "I don't like those voices." I was like, "I don't like them either, kid. Like, I'm not disagreeing."
That's
with
what practice is. Jesus.
Get up and back. Come on.
In the words of Jake the dog, sucking at something is the first step to being good at something.
It just as soon as we jumped in tonight, it's like, "Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that." I was like, "Oh, there it's back. All right, I got it."
Yeah.
All right, whatever.
It's funny sometimes when it's just like Professor Scant disappears, and it's just like, hello, it's just like, who is this?
That, Tom? That is not who it should be.
It's like, right, here we are. I'm a posh British man. I forgot.
I forget what I was doing. I was playing a game with somebody at one point, and it was like halfway through, and I lost the character completely, and I was like, I was like, you know what? This is what I do. I can't talk anymore. I've lost it. I don't even know. I'm done.
Emojis.
Yeah, and that maybe that was the beginning of where
right.
Where
you fuck voices. This is bullshit.
Can't do this.
It's like, yeah, Tom, you don't have to do voices. Fuck talking!
Shut up, I have to. You know I have to.
Stop making me. No one is
not,
making you.
We're not?
I'm not. TJ's not. No one is. Angry face emoji.
Okay, I guess. Good for
Fine.
you.
It's fine.
Settle
You
down.
can be mad or something. I don't even know how to react to you.
Settle down, good sir. I don't just. What should we? No. Okay, whatever. But yes. That said, yes. Thanks for sticking around and having a good time with me and my either there or not there accents. I appreciate it.
Oh no, absolutely.
I don't know if anybody else saw it, but also in the Frost Maiden chat was I forget who posted it, but the thing about anybody who's like, oh, the DM saying people are gonna die, they go straight to hell, and I was like, ow, that hurts. I wonder how I should respond. And then I typed into search gifs, and yes, I said gifs instead of gifs because I'm a fucktard. But I was like, Tom goes to hell, and immediately found Tom from Tom and Jerry being thrown down to a pit of hell, and I was like, that's it. that's the response. That's what happens. Yeah. Good luck, everybody.
Nice. I mean, it works. It fits.
Yeah, it's
And
right.
that's
I mean,
so
it
that's
feels
that's
right.
what that one was. Okay.
It feels right.
Is it this? Min-maxers. Chris put that.
Chris.
Oh, it was fucking Chris, that shitbag. No, I'm kidding.
How about the DM who min-maxers? Do min-maxers go to hell? No. How about DMs whose goal is to kill the players? Straight to hell, to the boiler room of hell, all the way down.
Which is
Good,
why.
good. That makes me happy. I don't do Peter voices. Oh, I can't. Like there is a voice that I think TJ knows is already coming. But
Oh, there is a voice. There is a voice.
Is it Herbert?
no. I'm sure I could probably pull that one off, but
I didn't, from Family Guy?
no.
Or a voice?
A voice.
Okay.
It may, like, I don't know, like when I start to think of like the different voices that I like to do, like obviously Guy Sensei is one of my favorites
It's
to
the
just do.
Okay, wait. Maybe not the best, but it's great.
It is one of the best. Honestly, I love doing it. One of the other ones that I feel like I'm pretty good at, that I always like remember and think about, is Deckard Cain. And it's just like I'll jump into that one, here and there, just sometimes for just no reason. But it's like,
Wait,
I can do this one.
Deckard Cain from.
Stay a while and listen.
Oh! I'm sorry. I was thinking. There's like a Lovecraft movie that Sam Neill was in called From the Mouth of Madness, and his name is Deckard. It's not Deckard Cain, but it's something like that. I'll look it up. Keep going. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I thought that's what you were talking about. Sorry.
No problem. No big deal. No, it's just Diablo. There's always some Warcraft 3 stuff. The different characters in that, like the peasants and stuff. You're the king? Well, I didn't vote for you. Which obviously is a reference to Monty Python.
Mm-hmm.
But
Sutter Kane. That was the thing from Muff
Oh,
Madness.
all right. Well, that's. I mean, it's there. I can see where you. I mean,
everyone's like, "Do you read Sutter Kane?" And then they'd like cut their faces off, and that was it.
oh, okay. That's the thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. That's not Diablo-esque, but that wasn't Deckard Cain doing that stuff. He just unfortunately happened to be in Diablo 3. And then that was sad because he was in all of them. But the other one, I can't tell you, but he's coming.
All right, fair enough. I mean,
He is.
that's a decent build-up, I'll say.
Swiss car.
Boom, 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 boom.
It is. You two in particular, will obviously immediately know what's happening, but others will not.
Just for shits and gigs. Hold on, I want to do this. Just in case this is something you can use, Kevin, and you like it. Copy image. Let's go Discord.
And I'm hoping to introduce this as soon as next week.
This is what the character Sutter Kane looks like.
Oh. And what is he? He's a cult leader or something?
So like, how familiar are you with like the concept of like Lovecraftian effects and works and stuff like that?
Craziness, Cthulhu, tentacle face.
Nailed it.
I've seen enough hentai to know where this is going.
So basically, this guy writes books that gets people super whipped up, and the more they read his books, the more they are open to these outside creatures, gods, etc. influences, which leads to chaos and body morphic horror of dismemberment, growth of limbs, etc.
So one of the things that I usually have a problem with, like that sort of like Cthulhu-esque sort of stuff, is, and I've never read like the books or anything, but anything with like that sort of stuff, it's always just like, and they're going crazy, and it almost like, and maybe it's just because I've never actually really delved into it too much, but it doesn't really explain all of the chaos and the craziness. I mean, obviously you go crazy, you see these different things, but the thing that I saw was just like a Reddit post or something. I know it was a Reddit post, but I don't know if it was specifically from there. Maybe it was like Tumblr originally, whatever. Doesn't matter. The point is that the person gave an excellent example of, you can't look at it as like, oh, look, this is so crazy and whatever. Think of it as you're an ant. And then for a minute, you just like become a human and have all of the knowledge of a human and all of that sort of stuff and everything like that. And you're aware of your consciousness and this and this and this and this. And then after that, you're fucking back to an ant. And you can't go back to the same thing, and you can't comprehend the same level that you were just at. So you're just going out of your mind as an ant at that level, trying to remember and reach anything what you were before, and it's just like, you just cannot. And I was like, oh shit, fuck, that was excellently put in a way that's just like makes me go like, yeah, fuck.
So good. That's so good, because as soon as you started describing it, like the thing that popped into my mind was the inability of people both outside of and inside of the January 6th insurrection being unable to describe why it was that was something they shouldn't do, and everybody outside being like, well, why shouldn't we just defend it? Because it's American patriots just standing up for their rights. And it's like, fucking, because there's fucking weirdos storming shit like that. Sorry, you know what? Nope, that's enough. But that's what it made me think of. So,
I mean, you're not wrong. I don't know if it's a perfect comparison to. I mean, don't get me wrong. They have a different view on reality too. I think not begrudging you that.
I think the two things I'll say to this is this. One, I do not want to prescribe to Donald Trump any sort of eldritch power, one. And two, I don't know if anybody saw it or not, but the shaman, or shaman, depending upon how you want to say it, who was part of the January 6th insurrection, was released early and decided to go to the streets and start re-protesting, I guess, like re-emerging the protest, and was assaulted by a skateboarder. Something you can find on Reddit. It is pretty brutal, but also hilarious depending upon your political viewpoints.
Well, that sounds hilarious.
So something to search, something to see, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm an
'cause
old man.
that was
I don't know.
what, like the Viking shaman or whatever it was.
Yeah, the goddamn guy that was painted red and white like a Texas flag with
Yeah,
like Viking horns and Native American bullshit. Yeah, and
and
everybody
no
was
shirt
just
and
like,
stuff.
"Who the fuck is this guy?" Yeah.
And then everyone was just like, "Oh, it's that guy," and then that's
Oh,
why he
that
got.
guy. Yeah.
And then people who are in jail for weed are probably still in there longer than that guy was in there for
Yeah.
an attempted
Like,
coup. But
it,
anyway,
in no way am I saying that the American legal system is great. But what I am saying is, why is that guy fucking out? That's what I'm saying.
right. But
And that's when skateboard law had to come into effect. So,
so the ant can't comprehend that stuff. I mean, and because that's the biggest thing is it's always like it's just beyond your comprehension. It's like, you know what's beyond my comprehension? Anything that's beyond my comprehension. So why would I understand that? Or also, the other thing that I think of when I hear that stuff with like Cthulhu stuff, where it's like it's beyond comprehension, it's just like, you are an ass. All right, I get it. Fuck you. All right. It's like it's the secrets of the universe. I get it. Shut up, loser.
hold on. I'll say this. I'll say what you're saying right now is a fantastic point. That is a counter defense to that. But your point is something that is the evolution of modern thought within the last half century, right? So the concept of everything has its place and like there's some sort of overlord or god or whatever, and then to understand suddenly that either there is no god or your god is minuscule in comparison to the greater order of things is what has made the concept of the Cthulhu mythos so fucked up.
All right, I saw Metalocalypse. I get it. I saw the Cave Troll episode, not the Cave Troll, the Lake Troll episode recently. She's like, God will smite him down. Your God better act quickly, or else he will find things that are beyond his power.
But what I'm saying is like these are verbal components, right? Like, so Kevin, you and I know what it's like to have somebody over that goes, man, I need to have a sandwich. I'm talking about myself. You and I know what it's like to go on an adventure and sleep with some asshole who snores as loud as like a fucking metal band. I raised my hand. I know we're talking about myself, right? But if all of a sudden you and I were like hanging out with like the dudes in Cincinnati and they were like, we just found out about this new meditation that will unlock our fucking like 17th chakra UN, and you and I being what we were at that point were like, let's fucking do it. And so we sit down and we go through the motions, and yeah, maybe we had to kill a kid, or maybe we had to like slice a goat's throat,
That
or whatever it
escalated
is.
so quickly. You went to a meditation.
But hey, you know what? We did what we had to do.
Whoa.
Keep rolling it. Don't do that. We did what we had to do, and we'll never talk about it again. But we did what we had to do.
It's the sacrifices of karate, TJ.
And then all of a sudden, we realize that all life on this planet is insignificant because it's a fucking egg that's about to hatch something that has total indifference to our awareness, our survivability, or whatever. And as it cracks out of the egg, we all fucking die, and we were pointless. That's what the Cthulhu mythos realization is that you are pointless in the grand scheme of creatures that are beyond your influence, your power to control, or even your understanding, and that's what that is. And like I think that like that concept before where you're talking about like you're an ant and then you're not an ant and then you're back is close, but there's more to it, and that more to it is what you're finding out about is shit that is so far beyond your ability to control. You have to accept submission because you're just fucking cosmic dust. That's what you are.
So the problem with that is, a couple things. Is with that, it's just like, yeah, obviously, you don't even have to realize that you are part of a fucking eggshell of a thing that's going to hatch to realize that you're insignificant in the universe. You just have to look up and be like, look at all the fucking stars. Holy shit. Yeah. So it's something where it's just like, that can give, I mean, in my thought process, it's like that gives me an existential crisis. However, it doesn't give me the whole, like, I don't comprehend it. It's just like, no, I get it. It did big, lots of shit. Stuff I can't even I don't have power to change the things on this little fucking eggshell, let alone anything anywhere else.
But I think but you're focused on the here and now, right? Like you're focused on like, I can't control the eggshell, I can't control the occurrence of this happening, I can't control this shit. But the stuff that really starts to make your mind bend in directions you didn't anticipate was, what level of power does the deity that impregnated this rock have? What level of power or influence for everything I've ever done or not done did those powers influence? Are they conscious? Are they not? And what you're describing, Kevin, is actually like a classic defense mechanism for a Call of Cthulhu game or a Delta Green game or whatever, which is that like, I refuse to believe that they have influence over me. Doesn't mean that you're going to win with that thought process, but it's a coping mechanism. And so the idea is that like we as humans think like, we are the masters of our own ship. We know if we make choices and do this, do that, this happens. But once you start to bring things on like an interplanetary or galactic or interdimensional scale, our powers are negligible at best. And so that's where that comes in. And so some people want to delve into that world, and that's where like the sort of the fun for like a Call of Cthulhu game or a Delta Green game or something like that comes from. But other people like, and Kevin, I feel like as you're describing, you're a person that's just like, I don't fucking get this. Like, why do I want to be in this world to deal with it?
I mean, a couple things. One, yes, I wouldn't want to. But two is, I don't not comprehend that. I mean, that's that, and not saying that, that's what you're saying. But like, with the Cthulhu power stuff, I can comprehend that, like, I'm insignificant in the grand scheme of things. Either way, especially if it's something where it's just like, oh, you're, like, the world's about to just be destroyed anyway because of, this thing hatching, using the example. But it's like, that I can comprehend. I like the idea of it's something beyond my capability of understanding. Like, I can understand this just like, oh, I only have this much power. It sucks, but I can comprehend that, and it's something where it's just like, I don't necessarily want to admit to that, this, that, the other thing, but it's something where it's just like, yeah, I get it. I can't cast Hadokens yet, which is bullshit, but I can't yet. All right. I just haven't said that for 10 minutes yet.
I have the ha, but not the doken. Yeah.
I just have to say ka for 30 days.
But that's another point of
next time.
Next time I got that. But
Dragon Ball.
That is another point of either a great character to play or a realization of, I don't want to play this game, because you represent a limited faction of humanity with that viewpoint, right? And again, depending on the character you choose to play, But like in the moment that we're talking about right now, like I'm sitting here with a wiki page for the movie Mouth of Madness, and as I scroll down it at the top, there's got like a an advertisement for classic worst housewives, and I'm like, I don't know what this means. I don't watch that show. I don't understand what any of this is. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I don't.
So, right, exactly. So like if that's what like
All right, so
some
that's
sort
what
of-
you're saying is Cthulhu is
right. If
reality
if
TV.
yeah. It'd be like I don't
'Cause,
fucking
all right,
get it.
I
am
get
gonna
it.
go insane right now.
That's
Exactly.
beyond my comprehension.
So the same it's a stupid analogy, but the same idea is that like even if your brain was like, you know what, a better example, maybe this is a better example. So I was a philosophy student in college, and there
Nerd.
was I'll take it.
You
There
went to
was-
college.
Again, you know what, I'll take it. But there was
Not really the burn that you think it is, but okay.
a thought experiment where they were like, think of a four-sided side, a four-sided shape in your brain. Think of a 6, think of an 8, think of a 16, think of a 32. And there was
All of mine just end up being dice.
fair enough, yeah. There was a
Four-sided is a four-sided die.
there was a reasonist. There was an intellectual back in the 1700s, 18, I can't remember what his name or his date was, but he came back and he was like, the human mind cannot comprehend a figure beyond this certain amount of sides. And as I sat there in class and the professor said this to me, what did I do? I immediately put my head in my hand and started thinking about me walking around a figure in my head. It was like 1, 2, 3, 4. And in my head, the figure was growing more and more exponentially to like have enough sides. And like 3/4 through the class, I like put my hand up and I'm like, 102 sides, just crushed it. What's up? And everyone was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I do drugs. Don't worry about it. It's fine. But anyways,
We've moved on.
yeah, we've
Yeah,
moved
you're-
on from the thing we talked about 30 minutes ago. But anyway,
The class is
Half an hour
over.
ago.
yeah,
The class is over. This is a psych class now.
So, but like, but I was like, no, man, I challenge this. Like, I can come up with this, and so I feel this like innate drive to say like, all right, I get it, I'm insignificant, but when you're reading like a Cthulhu-esque story, or even if it's set in modern day, you've got to take the viewpoint of not you, but the person who's not ready to accept that, right? Like the person who sits there and goes like, I've got 4 cars and I've dated 3 women and I've got 6 kids and I'm the fucking man, and you're like, you can't move anymore because a tentacle is holding you. Like, that person can't comprehend reality. Like it's lost, like it's gone. And so I think that's the core concept that is there, is that not so much that we as players, we as readers, we as people who like kind of take a moment to think about it, can't say, no, I get it, and so this is the big power play, or I don't get the big power play on this. It's rather that the majority of human beings are focused in the moment. They're focused in survival. They're focused in next steps, bettering themselves, whatever it is. And then when some sort of alien interference comes in that they cannot control, you know, with gunfire or fire or knives or
That
yelling,
was the first thing that
whatever.
I thought of.
Yeah,
Gotta
as soon
shoot
as
'em.
those things. Well, I mean, again, as soon as those
Cletus.
things are out,
Thanks.
as soon as Cletus's options are out, you're pretty effed, right? Like you don't like. I mean, like people who are capable of just doing acceptance, which is generally reserved for like, you know, monks or religious fanatics or whatever. Everybody else is really in for a shit show if that was going to be what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, and I mean, I've watched all sorts of fucking stupid stuff, and I mean we all have, and like just anime, and it's just like, oh yeah, that happened, okay, and it's like, yeah, but don't accept that. That's not a thing that, you know, if it happened in real life, you would just be like, yeah, okay, then like a dog demon popped out of his eyeball and ate his own arm. Like, oh yeah, that would happen. Like, if that happened to someone in front of me, I would be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? I get
Kevin,
it, but also like,
let's face it. You want to be the survivalist. It's fine. It's
oh,
cool.
obviously. But a couple things about that. One, I know, like, in a survival situation, I'm not surviving. I haven't done anything to do it. I don't have survival skills. Like, yeah, I know karate and stuff, but like, who gives a shit? It's just like, yeah, but you starved to death. It's like, yeah, but I know karate. It's like, you starved to death. Who gives a shit? It's like, so I get it. If anything happens, I'm in the 90% of people who get eliminated right off the bat. Okay?
Couple things to think about. First is bad move. Your first move as the apocalypse starts to happen is, let me train you to survive. And as soon as one of your students die, you just look at them and say, you didn't train hard enough. That's one.
Right.
Two. I mean, listen, this is all marketing. Everything is marketing. The second thing is, come on, man. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you're being too harsh. The world's gonna be really fucked up when that happens. It's gonna be the game that I was doing with like I forget what it was called. I showed you pictures when we first started talking about it. We started talking about Wounded, like the whole like whatever it was. I forget. Doesn't matter. But
what, that big fucking game?
are you gonna give me more than that? I don't know what you're talking about now.
That monstrous fucking one. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, Cthulhu stuff.
Ancient Evil. That was the game. That was the game that I brought to like other countries and played with. Yeah, Ancient Evil. All right, sorry.
All right, I don't remember. Let's see, Ancient. Because like it's kind of coming to me a little bit.
There were a series of six-sided die you had to roll to play the game. One was an effect die, one was a damage die, and there was one more. And basically, the idea was that the more players that played, the stronger the creature got. And I created like a little like central token with a pegboard on it, almost like a cribbage board, that you kept track of its health on. I played that with my wife before she was my wife. Actually, no. I played that with my wife just after she was my wife in Norway. It was fun. Wasn't the most amazing game, but it was a decent game.
But it's there.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Because all right, give me like a little bit. Because I like. And what was the game that we had played? I think you and I played first. No, maybe not even. Maybe it was just you, TJ, and I all played. Where like you go through the dungeon, and like it's set up with like squares, and like you get items and stuff like that. But like the more you like fight, the more like difficult to.
Was that the betrayer at Baldur's Gate?
No, it wasn't that one, because that's just House on Haunted Hill, D&D style.
D&D style. Yeah.
And every time we played that, it was just like it felt like it was about to be fun, and then it stopped.
Yeah. No, agreed.
It's just like, oh yeah, It's you're getting to climax, and then you just all right. We're done. Game's over. Shut up, idiot. Did you have fun? Good. I didn't want you to. It's like,
Good
oh,
for you.
Jesus
Get out of here.
Christ. So that one always was like this could have been fun. But it wasn't.
Trying to think.
Do you remember that one at all, TJ? Or
Sorry, which one?
does it have any thought? Does my terrible non-description give any actual memories to anyone? So it's almost like a small game. We all got like different characters. I don't know if they were different. There was some defense stuff, but we all got our characters in front of us, and like the rooms were put together. I think you could only see so far. Maybe I'm wrong with this, but like I think the tiles were like they were either like not 4x4, 2x2, or 3x3. I almost said 4x4 or 9x9 because I already did the math on how many squares there. But that would be a fucking absurd amount. A 9x9 tile set. Anyway, so 2x2 or 3x3 things, and they would like kind of build up. I remember one thing that happened specifically in it. Tom was trying to like convince us that maybe we want to go to the next floor or something. No, maybe we don't want to go to the next floor. Like you go to the floors. Oh shit. You get equipment. I think they were in the form of like cards, almost like how not Dungeon. I mean maybe Dungeon a little bit, but Descent. How like you would get cards, but we were all working together.
Wait. This was, I think I brought this down and played this with you guys because I had gotten this. This was like Darkest Dungeon or something like that.
That might be it. No,
I think this
wait.
was it. It was
Is Darkest Dungeon the video game?
No. Oh, you know what?
What's that one?
I have it on the shelf. Hold on. I gotta go check. Give me a sec.
What's the video game I'm thinking now? Yeah, Darkest Dungeon.
Massive Darkness.
Massive Darkness. All right.
That was the game. Because I'm listening and I'm like, I remember this game too. What game was this?
Wait,
what are we talking? I remember playing this. Yeah, it was Massive Darkness.
Massive Darkness? Whoa. Okay.
I recently rediscovered a game that I had bought a while ago, and not that I want to give Wizards of the Coast like more money or anything, but they created a game a couple of years ago called Dungeon Mayhem. That's a 2 to 4 player game, and it's basically a card game with like a hit point tracker, but it's fun. It's just fun. And then they came out a couple of years, about I think it was maybe 2-3 years ago, maybe with a build out where there was a series of like, if you bought it, it was like 6 or 8 monsters you could play as, so that either players could team up against monsters or whatever, but you needed, like a player that could play against whatever, do whatever. But Dungeon Mayhem is pretty solid, and I recently like showed my daughter that, and in the game, the core game, there's 4 characters. There's like a female half-orc, there's a male cleric, like kind of an evil cleric, there's a female elven paladin, I guess is the best way to say it, and then there's like a tiefling rogue. And so my daughter looks at the characters and she's like, I want to be the girl. And I was like, there's 2 girls. She's like, I want to be the girl. And I was like, you mean the elf, like cleric? She goes, yes. And I was like, well, fine. I'm gonna be the elf half orc, and we're gonna fight against each other." And she goes, "Why?" I said, "Because that's how it is." And she goes, "Oh." And then the elf loses to the half orc, and she goes, "Dad, I want to be the female half orc." I went, "Okay, fine." And she wins, and she goes, "This girl is strong." I was like, yeah, I know. If you want to be her, sure, you should be her." And she's like, "I think I'm her now." I was like, "Fine, I'll play as." Yeah, and so it was just a fun way of being like, listen, like as a dad, I'm like, femininity can be both, like demure and like overt. Like you can do what you want with this. Like be your own person. Like I find myself trying to craft like life lessons through fantasy because that's the only medium I know. So that's all I've got. So
time to learn you. I choose the female. Well, you'll learn.
There's actually 1.5 choices for that. What do you want to go with? So
just played Exploding Kittens.
That's a good game.
Through Netflix. See, Exploding Kittens. I was playing with Kelton. There's really like, like we were able to play like a good amount of games because it goes through so quickly and it does all of it for you on that stuff. But like you're pretty limited with like the things you can do a lot of times.
What do you mean? Like as far as like on a turn or because of cards or?
Just in total. Like there's like just how like Happy Salmon, right? That's what it is.
Oh yeah. It's
like,
coming. It's coming this summer.
It's
coming this summer. But yeah.
Everyone, file down your nails, Carolyn.
Everybody, make sure you're not clawing anyone. Yeah.
It's coming down this summer. Well, I'm still gonna have gloves and long sleeves on,
just in case.
But no, it's I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm hopping over the thing like an asshole, but it was something where it's just like
dropping cards. I
I mean, I made sure they were on the table, quote unquote table. It's just like bang. If I did one, I switched with someone, and then it was just like I threw that down and switched. I know Tom was accusing me. But it's just like, no, I threw that down.
I'm pretty sure I saw you throw a baby into one of your like cabinets at one point. So just a second.
We're gonna have Happy Salmon Pro with like cameras and everything. Instant plays.
Well, so you know what?
We need to get Gary Bateman and what's the other guy? Fuck. Now he's never gonna show up.
We need to get the Ocho.
Gary something, but I keep coming up with Gary Oak. Is it like Gary Wall? Oh, Workman?
All I'm saying is I shot a video of like, I don't know, the second to last, third to last game of Happy Salmon. And that was the game Felicia won. And it is...
So not one of the good ones.
I've shown it to several people. And my 3 favorite things about that is, 1, people are like, they're really going nuts. And I'm like, that's why the game is amazing. The second thing is, Felicia is so excited when she wins. Like, she is just like, yeah! And, yeah, that's what happens when you win this game. And the third thing is people are like, it looks like people are really mad in the background when she wins. And I was like, yep, that's part of the game to do.
that also happens when you play this game.
Yeah, so those are the 3 takeaways from this game, is that it's fun, someone will be happy, and many people will be mad. So
yes. Yeah. And it's funny because she always does this. Like the Phil Jameson skit about like board games and just explaining it and playing it with people, like especially your significant other, is just at least for me is so fucking spot on. It's just like, hey, want to play a board game? It's just like, all right, but it can't be too complicated. It's like, don't worry, it's very simple, and it's just Monopoly. And it's like, oh yeah, but try not to cheat this time. It's like, what? Fuck, I don't cheat. And it's just like, oh, it's crazy how you get to go, the rules work that way for you. But it's just like, he just happened to be the one that rolls doubles. And it's just like, no, that would have been the case for everyone, just no one else had rolled doubles. And it's just like, see, he always does this. He always cheats. And so when I said the amount that I had won of the game, Felicia's just like, no, you didn't. And she's like, I did.
Maybe I did. I think
it's like, because it was the most. I don't remember how many it was, but I was just like, yeah, fuck you, Eric. Because that just felt really good.
I love that. So
there was one time that I had cards, and they couldn't be in my hand any more than like 0.5 seconds. And
right.
I was so stunned. I was like, the only way I could go quicker is if I just threw it down, and Eric won, and I was just like, you're kidding me.
I know.
Kidding.
It was always fucking Eric. It was always Eric.
But the last game that I played, I can't remember who it was. He saw a thing happen, and then he threw it down, and I stopped completely what I was doing, and I just stared at him the entire game. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because it's like, you weren't a part of that. You saw me high five someone, and then I saw you drop your card, and you're like, yes, I am included. I'm like, Phil, what are you doing?
No, there's no threesomes in Happy Salmon.
So I was,
like Tom wants to limit it to 4 people for his for the tournament at his thing.
Happy Salmon Pro. Got it.
I am hoping that I get eliminated early so I can just create some fucking side fucking absurd game. And I'm going to have like 4 copies of that shit over there. So we can get like 20 people in, and we're going to have just everything going insane.
So, a couple things. One, the first thing
it wouldn't be 20, it would be less.
So I don't know if it was the same weekend that I introduced you guys to Happy Salmon that I introduced my aunts and my mom and my sister to it, but maybe it wasn't the same weekend, maybe it was the next weekend, whatever it was. But I was like, all right, I want you guys to learn about this game, and so they're sitting around, they've had a couple pops, and I was like, let's do this. However, my daughter is sleeping. We are not going to do pops. We're not going to do change places. And they were like, okay. So I said, we're only going to do Happy Salmon, slap, slap. We're only going to do high fives, slap. We're only going to do fist bumps, and that's it. And they were like, okay, let's do this. And then about 6 minutes later, my dad, because you've all met my dad or seen him or whatever, comes downstairs and he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Because they were screaming. So they were like, this game's really fun. And my aunt has bought like several copies of this game for her like nieces and nephews that play it, that may also be at the family cookout. So I'm looking forward to adults and children treating each other like equals and also wanting to destroy each other.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm
no.
very excited.
I'm
very excited.
I just need you to know I am not treating anyone like an equal, especially children. They will be picked up and put in place for a switch. All right, yep, switch, got him, boom.
Well
all right,
Kevin,
and you go over here, drop.
Wait, I just want to say this. As a person who attended my wedding,
obviously
and who
gently,
me call a goddamn kid out for cheating, I'm not going to allow bullshit to happen. I'm just saying.
Like, I'm gonna scoop him and just like put him down. I'm not like, you're on this side now, fucker, and just like launch him down. He's crying. It's like, good. That's one down. I'm gonna kick your fucking aunt in the shins. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna win.
Right.
So
do the rules say you can't assault the other players?
Let's see Kevin's replay, and it's like mental, and it's like, let's see what actually happened. He just tossed beyond like the other side of
just
the
like
room.
boot kicking somebody. Boop, next move.
He's missing a leg. You know what happened last time we played Happy Salmon?
flipping other people's cards over to see what they have, taking their unconscious arm, high five. But no, obviously children will be placed as though they were fine china, so no one's gonna get hurt. I'm just saying, if I chose to switch with you, I don't care that you just caught mommy's eye and she also has switch. We already had a verbal agreement. Now you're over here. You better hope that, your daughter picked out change again, so now you can actually switch with her. But sorry, Sarah, that one doesn't count for you.
Well, again, I think that this summer's tournament will be based upon people who can grasp readily the rules of the cards. If little kids want to play, maybe we'll do a small side tournament for them. But for grown-ups, I think I've got like the blocks broken out so we can do this.
Is there going to be a ranking system like a playoffs? How it's just like
the way that I thought it made the most sense. Well, the way that I thought it made the most sense is so one deck has 8 sets of cards. So if you have 2 sets, you can have 16 people playing. So so let's just like throw it out there.
Who wants Eastern and Western Conference?
Yeah, who wants to play this game? And the way that the structure of this will basically run is that everybody plays at the table they're at until 2 winners are determined. So the way that 2 winners are determined is that 2 people win twice. As soon as those 2 winners are determined, they move on, and the people who did not win twice move down to the losers bracket. And then the tables kind of shift around based upon that. So like winners, losers, figure it out. And then the 2 winners that win from the winners tables, the first 2 winners from the winners tables, move on and basically have a buy round. And then everybody does like, ha 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 ha. And then at the end, there is a final tournament where there are somewhere between 6 and 8 people at the final table. And the first person to win 2 rounds at the final table is the ultimate winner, who will receive the Happy Salmon medal.
Nice. My question is, how do we determine the brackets? Oh, I mean, I want a 1 through 8, 1, 8, 7, 2.
So the way that I
4,
kind of
3,
I was thinking about this
6, 5
is that everybody will draw
once people sign in, we have to assign them rankings.
No, as people come in, they'll draw a card, and that is what table they will go to.
I want people judged based on their Happy Salmon previous records.
No,
what's their regular season Happy Salmon?
Or do you want to potentially be at a table with a bunch of noobs?
I know, but that's my point. Is people have to be ranked. I mean, I know you're not into sports, Tom, because playoffs are coming. All right, we've got the Bruins and the Celtics, and they had to play in, and the Celtics blew it. And now, I mean, they're in. Obviously, they're like one of the most talented teams in the NBA. Keep in mind, I don't watch this shit either, but it's coming up, and they only got 2nd place in their division, so now they have to play through a little bit tougher thing.
So I like how you're building this, but I think that what this will be,
I'm just saying I won the most, so I should be ranked 1 and playing against the weakest players to get to the top. That's all I'm arguing.
In an unranked, unofficial contest. So,
all right. So where are the official signups?
As we move into a yearly conference title match system, maybe you need to start keeping those numbers, keeping those ranks, seeing what's happening.
I'm going to start. I'm actually going to look into seeing if I can create an
I just want to
official
throw this out there.
Happy Salmon.
If Kevin loses in the first round, is there some sort of prize someone should get for knocking him out? Just saying.
You're calling a hit on him already?
I'm not calling anything. I'm planning on trying to
It's
play.
just like when he was a DM. Dude, like I said, I want to lose first, actually. I'm an agent of chaos. And
I want to come back and bring this.
I want to go immediately to the chaos table. I don't need this fancy dancy tournament stuff, but if I win, obviously that's because I'm the greatest at this fucking game. Get out of my face with that shit.
Wow.
But
All right.
I'm actually not looking to win.
I want you to rant for a minute. However, I'm going to stop listening. I'm going to use the bathroom and I'll be right back.
Okay, I was done. So fill time with some other stuff.
D&D.
And that it's Gary Cole.
Very cool.
So, Gary Cole and Jason Bateman. Gonna have to contact those guys, see if they'll officiate some games, so that way I can get.
Blindfolding himself. Yeah, it's a bold strategy. He's not going to be able to see very well.
We'll see if it works out for Cotton.
Needs a new pair of shorts. Or is it Pepper? Whatever the fuck his name was. We have not seen Jason Bateman in the comedy role, and it sucks. That was his high comedy role.
No.
Oh yeah.
His best was Arrested Development.
I mean, but like as the character, I think he was like a sane character in that. Like you haven't really seen him be like a chaotic.
That is true. I mean, because he's been hilarious in a bunch of different things.
You're welcome.
Like he can be funny at times, like in Ozark, but like that's not the point. So it's not. And also you have to kind of laugh at some like weird, different, like dark stuff.
Yeah.
But like,
Wait.
so it's a very different sort of thing generally. But like, what's Bad Words? That was a funny one.
That's true.
Are we talking about Bateman appearances right now?
Bateman, just Bateman, really.
Yeah. No, fair.
Because I was saying Gary Cole and Jason Bateman are the two that need to be contacted to have official commentary on the Happy Salmon tourney.
Listen, you know what? I think that if we could get an official first round of Happy Sammy tourney down, and we have some recordedness of that, and then we're like, hey, listen, we realize you guys are, people who have shit that's going on, but if you want to go have fun, have a few beers, and laugh with some people, we're going to do this next summer. You want in and help us try to get some like national publicity to this? Let's do it. And then go from there. I mean, the worst thing that happens is they go, no response. The best thing that happens is they're like, I don't know, Cotton, this sounds like the next Ocho tournament to me. And then we go from there.
Perhaps. If not, if I'm out in the first round, I'll just commentate too.
But that said, as it is 11:24 right now, and TJ and I are still on. Kevin, any chance we could just try to like attack and kill something and see what happens? Do not pick another giant ape, please.
No, I mean it's only 2, but yeah, I mean if you guys are down, I can throw.
Come on, bro. Here.
Throw something that I
mean, TJ, I don't know what you're doing right now. If you gotta go, you gotta go. But who doesn't want to roll some dice?
Let's see. I'll just kind of pick something from Monsters. Jeez, what am I gonna throw out? Excuse me. That might be too much. That might work.
Uh, Kevin, as you're looking at things, just throw this out there as a memory, as a file to recollect. Do you remember when several years ago we were trying to find a school to go study at, and I think it was you or I or one of us, get out of there, go. Thought we had found like an Eskrima school that we could go down to.
Yes.
Yes. And so I met up with you in Boston, and we got on like a train, and we drove. We got off, and we were outside this like bullshit, shitty brick building with no doors and everything shuttered. And there was some dude sitting at like a fucking playing card table out front with another dude. We walked up, and we were like, "Hey, we're trying to find X and Y studio," and the dude started to reach for something, and we were like, "Hey, let's fucking kill it, like just cool out for like a moment, bro. Like, is this here or no?" And like there was a real tense moment, and then it was like it's not there anymore, and it was like, all right, whatever. And then we walked off and had a beer. Do you remember that? I remember that.
Yeah. Because what did we end up finding in the end?
Wizard school.
No, like that we actually went to.
Oh, I don't know. What did we end up actually finding out at the end?
Because it wasn't that day. We ended up finding the ninjutsu school because of it.
Oh! That's
because
what I
of
meant by
that
the
search.
school. Because if you remember,
Because there was something.
There was something written, maybe by Daryl at some point, about being like a techno wizard something. And so when you showed it to me, and I was like, oh, that. Okay, yeah, cool. All right, let's go check out the wizard school. All right, let's do it.
All right,
anyways, the hell is this? A rock monster? I can't zoom in. Let's find out. Oh, an ogre's. I'm sorry, an ogzom. Oh, it's an ogzom.
Yeah.
If we're gonna fight an ogzom together, do we have all our spells and poop and stuff back, or we were just asking?
Yeah. Let's. I'm actually gonna just toss you guys over here.
I'm gonna heal myself up by 5 points, yo.
And then I'll be right back. But let's roll initiative.
Initiativo, boop. Boop. Come on, don't shit the. I can't shit the. Alright. TJ, you, Wait, TJ, what's your character's name?
Wisp.
Wisp, are you ready for this?
Probably not. Let's see.
How good is your AC? Like, I mean, armor. Like, how good is your armor? Probably should have asked that.
16.
Would you like me to make it better?
Yeah. Sure. Can you do that to magical armor?
I can... Wait, yes, I can cast the spell. But you can't leave. Don't... You gotta be next to me to do it.
So in other words, if you held your action, it goes to me and I cast a spell. I could cast a spell on you and then you could do a full turn.
Got it.
Okay. Okay. All right, so that versus all right. So what? Got a 10. Oh, it is 22. Got rid of you and a you and you. Adieu. And that was 18. So we'll just do this right here because it's only 3. And TJ, your turn. Also, I would like to say that I think that Tom, with your AC, I think you're going to be more potentially, and this is me not being actually here as a player, but I feel like you're going to end up having to do a bit of the tanking because without the actual any sort of tank.
Well, so, and I think that's my kind of like unexpected role. Like,
Yes, it's definitely like secondary.
Yeah, like if I'm that person, that's fine, but it's only because that's
of
like
necessity.
brought it to that. Like, yeah, like I'm not just like I'm gonna be the best guy there is. Like, no, I'm just like,
Ooh, what's this over here? Or what's that over there? Oh God, they're
So,
hitting me!
and
my my suggestion is that you might want to go for the one that has no not the +2 to crossbow, but the other one first for the feet.
The fighter armor feat, yeah.
Well, the one where you can attack without disadvantage, even when they're within range.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. With a crossbow. Yes.
Yes. Because then it's something where it's just like, then you don't have to worry about that if you are up front.
Yeah. No. Fair enough. Yep. Nope. Understood what you're saying.
But yeah, TJ.
So don't move.
I was just saying that if you wait, I can cast a spell on you, but it might make you harder to hit. That's all. If you want to go, you can go. I mean, whatever.
I mean, I'm fine with doing this.
I could cast it on myself. I'm not gonna be mad if I have it on me.
If you wanted to have a, like, you hold your action, because I like that in 4th edition. And then your initiative becomes, I mean, it used to be in order. So what would happen is it's like, if you're first, you just hold. And not even hold your action, you just move down in initiative. So you would become 3rd in this place. But then you're 3rd every other time. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a little bit of the same. Especially in this situation. But like if there were other characters going, then you could drop down for him to do something. And then if you had other guys who were like 2 and 5 in initiative, you would go before them. And it wouldn't have to wait until your next turn. I always liked that.
I wouldn't have direct line of sight, would I?
Not. I mean, I would say it would probably have some cover, maybe even 3/4 cover. You know what? I'd say just cover. Because even though there's stuff in the way, I feel like it's based on the rules. You have every. No, that's from center. But from every angle, you have 3. You have all sides of them. So it is going to be. He's going to have a +2 on it. But you absolutely have.
Here.
Yeah, you have. I think just because there is still a little bit, I would give him a +1 just in this situation.
Okie dokie. Whatever works. Oh, that won't hit. Oh,
Hold on.
Okay.
Ooh. All right.
So this is the starting range.
So 2 hits.
Oh, cool.
Uh-oh.
Whoa, it did it that time.
So 11.
Why? Oh wait, no, I didn't do it that time. I'm confused why I did it this way. Alright. Yeah, 11.
Okay. All right. So let's see what we've got. Don't tell me I put him too far. All right. So he moves up to here, but
He's a quick one.
but he's not able to do anything other than that. So it goes to Tinker, and yeah, he's pretty nimble enough.
Does Tinker have? Let's see. What, Kevin? What is here? What is this? Is it something that's crossable? Not crossable? It's just a table. Can't get across it. What is that?
No, it's a table. Like, what are you doing? Trying to jump over it?
Well, I was hoping to get right here, next to him, and then move away.
Yeah, you might have to like hop up, but it's not going to be anything where like it. I might. If you're probably going to have to hop up and down. Like with up and down, it'll probably like cost you 5 feet.
Okay. So I'm gonna go 5, 10, right to there. Whoop. All right, so call it 15 feet instead. And I am going to cast a spell. I'm going to cast Blur in on my friend here. And so anything that attacks him is as it attacks with disadvantage, unless it doesn't rely on sight. At which point, I'm going to step back to here because I can still. Actually, you know what? So 5.
That's right there.
I'm
Oh,
sorry,
nice.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yes, I get back there. And then I'm going to take a full round attack at this guy with my heavy crossbow.
No. That was Blur.
No, you're right. I moved. I cast a spell. I moved back. I apologize. You're right. I thought I had more I could do. I can't.
No
So
problem.
that is my turn. That is my turn.
How? Where were you? There.
I was same spot. Same spot.
Like
So
that?
it was 5.
All right, cool. Yeah, so
5, 10,
you're
15,
completely
20,
good.
25, 30. Yeah. So I should be able to do it. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong screen. So we move forward with this one. So, St. Louis Morningstar the Third.
Lots of 3s.
DC Con.
90 feet. Donde, where is the ruler? Alright, I guess I'll just do... that. Try to go up on top of the bridge. And what? I think that's an action. Yeah. I don't really have any bonus actions, so I think that's it.
Oh, so Thunder Step. Okay. Alright, let's see. Does this show?
I do show it.
Alright. Yeah, he definitely failed. Right? 16, yeah.
Yep.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, he rolled poor. Alright, so 9 thunder damage.
And it's strange it doesn't add the genie's thing to that.
No, not to that. No, why would it?
Because let me see. Once during your turn, when you hit with an attack roll,
Oh,
so
gotcha.
it doesn't. So it doesn't do it.
Got him.
Oh, because it's the.
Don't I look like an
AC.
idiot now? Yeah, so you're making them make a save. You're not going with an attack roll.
Got it.
That's a cute little distinction there.
Yeah.
As opposed to, like, anytime you inflict damage. Which actually
Yeah.
probably sounds cooler.
Yeah. It
I mean, yeah. That's what it's going to be. I mean,
I remember the Unearthed Arcana with this, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It doesn't really seem overpowered, and it came out during the time that they were like, they discovered, hey, proficiency bonus can be more than one thing and be way more useful. And then they were like, hey, we're gonna limit this class. So this class is actually, they took away a couple of things. I'm not sure. I would have to find
I mean,
exactly what they got rid of, but
so I would say on a save, though, it would be something where...
I get it.
So you run up, touch St. Louis Morningstar, and then cast Blur on yourself, and then run back. So yeah, he would also make the save on that as well, or whoever in that case on that damage. But I would say whenever it casts damage
Yeah.
or
I
does
don't know
damage.
what the original one was. I'm just saying. Let me see if I can find it.
Because that will put him there. And is there anything else you're doing on your turn? You said you don't usually have bonus actions.
No, I don't. I don't have any bonus actions.
All right, so that brings up a stunned ogre zombie, but with only one creature in his way, or in his knowledge, peripherals, anything like that. It's gonna come up and try and, what does he have? Like a club, I'd imagine. Can I show you guys?
At least you have that self buff.
Udis, new phone. Alright, so he's gonna come in and attack you. Holy shit. Alright, so maybe not. I mean, we don't know yet. Can you roll it? Yeah, do that. Yeah, but roll it. God damn. Alright, fine. 2. Ooh. So that's 18 points of damage. Good news. Your turn.
Did you maintain concentration on your blur?
Ooh, he has oh wait, 21, never mind. You definitely got hit. Sorry. Yes.
Maintained. I think I will double check one quick thing. We're going to disengage because that's something I can do. Zoop. Move over here as a bonus action. And then I'm going to fire... I'm going to fire 2 crossbow bolts, heavy crossbow bolts into him. +5 to hit. But let's see what we do.
You can disengage as a bonus action?
Yep. As a bonus action. Goblin. Nimble escape as a goblin.
Goblin, shit. Oh, man.
You know.
But I don't
nice.
think a 10 hits.
Okay.
I don't think a 10 hits.
It does.
It does?
Yes.
Oh. In that case,
he's a big, lungering goofball.
Hang on. I just want to make sure I use this appropriately. I'm going to go with Fury of the Small and deal 5 extra damage with
nice.
This.
Good work. I liked it better when I was kicking people in the nuts after stabbing them, but, you know, that worked too.
That was a low roll. Fucking.
That was a
6
low
plus
roll.
5, that's 11 points of damage.
Oh, okay. I mean, and that's where the that's where that Fury of the Small comes into play real nice. It's like boom, now that was a real hit after all is said and done.
But here comes my second shot. Nice. And I'm going to assume a 15 hits.
Yep.
Nice. Actually, I take that back. That last shot would have been 1 more damage. This is 8. This so should be 9 points of damage because of my infusion making it a magical. So you could just count this as 10 damage, and that's what I do.
Okay. All right. And with that, we move to St. Louis Morningstar the Third. And also, if that's the case, I didn't roll. But just
Yeah,
with
let me
that
fix
guy,
Let me fix your fist.
my whole that guy versus that guy. I mean, even in this case, it's something where it's like I don't trust the nimbleness.
Don't worry. There's a point when I will do my lightning fist as opposed to the crossbow, but
No. I'm just talking about the nimble bonus action disengage.
No, fair.
Which
so I looked,
I'm not going to take it away from you or anything. It's that build.
I've been reading. There's a whole thing in the Pathfinder setting where there's like this armed guard or retinue of like kobolds and goblins and goblinoids that have been trying to secure their own location, like their own, kingdom, fiefdom, whatever you want to call it. And that some of the local authorities are like, you can have it, just help us against X, Y, and Z. And other ones are like, no, fuck you can't do it. But this just makes me think of like a kobold in armor when I look at this. And I know I'm a goblin, but the body shape of this, it just makes me think of that. So,
I mean, is it that but small?
yes,
Basically.
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
All right.
I just I just think that if you were to see like a human in armor, like yes, this could hypothetically be like a human or like a mid-sized human in armor just standing there in like an epic pose with like lightning powers, but it could also very, very well be a small folk or someone that's in armor that you just don't see what the size of the people around them are.
Yeah. It's just hard to see it. But no, I know. And yeah, I can leave that one for you. I was rolling, and every time it was always the other one. It's like, but this is the one. So yeah, this guy. No, that was you. And yeah, we'll just you're nimble and small, and St. Louis Morningstar the Third.
I found.
No, not that one. Whoops.
I found an old genie thing, but it seems like they just kept everything the same. Maybe I was wrong about that. I could have swore that they dwarfed some things, but anyway. Let's go. Tinker died? Okay.
Wait, which Tinker died?
Tinker was replaced.
Oh.
He died. It's not on the turn order.
Dad.
Oh, whoops.
I talked to this new guy.
Nice.
He's unfamiliar to me. Alright,
And Tom, you have control of that one, right?
Of
The one I put in.
I apologize. Like, wait, this dude?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you're original.
My org. Yes.
I use my
The OG.
Rod of the Packkeeper to regain the spell slot that I used.
Okay. What is that? Is that a just do it or action bonus?
Yep. That's an action. And that's it.
Okay.
And I cheer on Tinker. You got this.
Oh no! Oh no!
I mean,
However, disadvantage. Just saying.
yes. What was rolling it with both?
By the way, my AC right now is a 20.
All right. Well, neither then. He got that one good hit, and we'll see if anything else comes of it. So he's got to roll. He has a 25% chance on any given roll, and then with disadvantage, that goes down to, let's say, probably less.
Listen, I took
Tinker,
a different.
you're
I
up.
took a different tact than what you did with Ziada, but I think this is also effective.
Yeah, I would say it's a different tact since you're an artificer versus a paladin.
I'm gonna disengage to here. Oops. And I'm gonna try to shoot this person twice. Here we go. Boop.
All right.
Plus
Well,
5 to hit. Oh, with a 19 on the die. 23 to hit. Yes.
all right. So hold on, because I was allowing you to be here, because I was saying like you're under the awning, but then like you're running, you're just appearing up on the roof. You know what I mean?
Oh no! I'm sorry. I thought I was running into
like-
the store below.
No, because it's like a wall. They aren't stores. The only like stores are like the market tents out here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to.
No, these are solid
you.
walls.
So could I? So if I was right here, could I just be like, boop, boop, boop?
Like you
and
could
then go
scoot
there?
out. You could
Well,
get all, like
well, there's a body right there. And I don't like that, so I'll go right here.
yeah.
But I still
But-
have line of sight on the big guy, right?
Yeah. Oh yes.
All right. So does a 23 hit that guy? I'm
you
sorry.
kinda have to-
24. Does a 24 hit that guy?
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Now, is there a way? Hold on. Let's check.
Oh, yes! That's max damage plus 1. That's 15 points of damage on the first shot.
Okay.
And then I'm going to shoot him again. Or I'm going to try to shoot him.
+4. Right, so what have you got right now?
Does a 22 hit him?
The damage is also
It's a
+4.
It's a D10 plus 4, but because I've increased the weapon to a +1 because of my infusion, it's a +1 to hit and a +1 to damage.
All right, so
So that first one was 15 points
Work.
of damage, and then
Ah, damn it.
Does a 22 hit this guy?
sorry, I am trying to get this to override that stuff for you. And then like, yeah. And that's it. Do that though.
Do the thing.
Like-
Listen, I love the fact that TJ and I moving our figures around the map right now are not reducing the map to ashes, which was what was happening at the end of Frostmane. So,
No, not what I'm trying to do at all. Okay, so that should be it. Ah. Why? No, you shouldn't still be +9. I definitely changed that one too. Enter. All right, so now I changed your crossbow. I gave it like the infusion, so now it'll be a +5 and a +5. So,
Okay.
oh my Jesus. So the 14, I think I took.
It should be 15.
Right, and that was the whole fucking reason I went in there.
And then the second attack was a 22 to hit. So I'm going to assume I'm hoping that hits.
Yes.
All right, and then I'll roll damage. It's stuck right there. So that's 8. That should be 9 points of damage total.
All right, you need to refresh.
A D10 that was a 4 plus the 4 for my dexterity, and then because it's a +1 weapon, 1 more, so it should be 9 points total.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I had no doubt on that. The only issue I had was that you need to refresh your page.
And I will refresh my Pajaje
now,
right now.
It's +5s.
Oh god, it's just like when TJ moved this character. No, I'm kidding.
Okay, good. And I only meant your D&D Beyond character.
Oh shit! I will refresh that then. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
That's the one I was talking about. Because if you're not having any issues with the Roll20, I apologize for making you refresh Roll20. TJ, you are up.
Ooh, I brought him to bloody buddy.
No. I mean, yes, but you also brought him to critical.
I'm sorry. I you know what? You're 100% right. The red. I'm like bloodied, and you're like,
yeah,
no. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yes, oh no, that's critical. Okay, yeah.
It's been a while for me, so when it was actually bloodied, I put red on first, and it's like, nope, oops. Ugh.
Ooh, DJ, what are you doing out there? What are you doing?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, hold on. So let's look at this real quick, because why is Tinker only rolling a +5 with a crossbow? It's because it's heavy.
Because I'm not proficient with it.
Right.
I'm only using my dex mod, and then the +1 for my infusion. That's why.
Okay. Moving right on.
Which is why
Excellent.
my feats were to become better with that. That's why I was like.
Yes.
That's why I was thinking my first feat would be the archery +2. That's it.
So I have a question. Is that... please, I am fine if this is like, it's my character or whatever. Is there a reason you're not going with like a short bow or something?
Yes, because the heavy crossbow does the most damage, and I'm automatically dealing more damage by increasing that. That's why I went with that, because I could infuse the heavy crossbow and I could do the reloading for free with it. So why not take that? That's why I went with it.
Yeah. Why not like a light crossbow? That's only a D8.
Well, again, it's damage. Like Tinker doesn't see himself as like a damage dealer / like frontliner. He sees himself as a problem solver. But he's like, if there's a problem, I want to take it out as soon as possible, and that's why he went for the max damage he could with the heavy crossbow, because the artificer takes away that loading problem. Like if you were a fighter with a heavy crossbow, you couldn't fire it twice because of loading, but because of artificer, he can take that away. So that's why he was like, I'm going to take this and hopefully be able to do things at range and not have to deal with them front up. But after last week's scenario, maybe I have to, instead of going for archer, go for crossbow expert, so I don't suffer penalties if somebody's in my face, that I can shoot them twice again, kind of thing.
All right. I mean, I would just argue that the light crossbow would be better situation, but if it's Tinker's thinking, then I'm fine with that. Excellent.
I really I like the idea of him being this like heavily armored, like battle bot kind of thing, right? And the heavy crossbow is something he just built into it, and it's just like,
I can just do this. Oh, I can build this so I can do this 2 times this time. All right, let's do this again. He's like, patow. All right, moving on.
Like don't get me wrong. Like anytime I go golfing, I'm always like, nice, easy swing. Just back up. And yeah, you pull it back and you're just like, or just crush it. It's a good fucking idea. And then you crush it and it just shanks all the way to the right. And now you're playing out over a different hole.
But it's on the other
like,
green.
Shit. So, like, I get that concept of like, yeah, but like if you do it this way, you'll hit more often. It's like, but if I hit it really good, it'd be crushed. It's like by like a little, but yeah. It's like, don't get me wrong, I get it.
Yeah, Tinker's thinking is, I may not hit it as often because of his, like, at this point, inability to, like, swing with strum with the crossbow. But when I do hit, it's the max. Like, it is going to the max.
Yeah.
And so that's why.
I imagine it's got to be... Okay. So I'm still envisioning that other character where it's like he's got like a suit, and I imagine there's just like a crossbow, but like for him it's like the size of like a fucking harpoon, and he has to like sink his feet down, grab the thing, and yank it back with his whole body like he's doing a fucking row, like a row exercise thing, and then just kind of let it go. And that's why he's not proficient, because I mean, how do you become proficient with that?
I was thinking more along the lines
oh boy,
of, like,
when he can do it.
Well, think of like a bomb, but like the inside the bomb, instead of an explosive, is a goblin, and to the side of it is this heavy crossbow. So there's like this gear wheel that he's like, and he throws like a bolt on it, and he's like, all right, turn to the left a
turn to the left a little, I guess.
And then he hits the lever, and it's like, and if it hits, he's like, yay! Like to get it back every round.
All right. I think there was something else, but anyway, it's TJ's turn. So
yeah, I bonus action disengaged, fired twice. That's my turn, I think.
Yeah. And had you already moved there?
Doing? St. Louis Macron.
All right. So the market is fucking on fire.
It was not my fault. I didn't do it.
It was your fault.
It was not.
It was Tom's fault, but it wasn't Tinker's fault. Okay, I'm not gonna blame Tinker, but it is Tom's fault for mentioning Macron.
Okay. I'm sorry. If they're on fire because like some sort of incendiary comment, then sure. But
I mean,
if
yeah,
it's because of like a fire spell. I'm like, we are not playing TJ's game. I have not set anything in fire on that game on purpose, and also I have not done anything on fire on this on purpose.
Yeah.
Ouch.
6 damage.
Yeah.
But do.
Agonizing blast. Yep.
Wait a minute. Where is the 6 coming from? There's a 5 and a 4.
Because only one Genie's Wrath per turn.
Oh, okay.
They're not communicating correctly. It's like the reverse of. I made the reverse of Harbor accidentally.
Sorry.
Instead of
I did this.
never
Sorry.
adding the rage damage, it's always adding Genie's Wrath
Okay. All right.
for some reason. So, and I was calculating spell slots because I don't think we have or spell slots versus spell points, and I like the idea. I'm gonna figure out how much Tom would have being a half caster.
Yeah, and if it's something where it's like it becomes too much of a headache, it's like, well, unfortunately, even if some of us like it, yeah, let's move on from it. Abandoned.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie. I literally was like, "Hey, this doesn't apply to me. I'm not a caster." And then TJ was like, "Tom's a half caster," and I was like, "Oh shit, that's right. I am a caster."
Good thing someone said words to me.
I do want to know. I just like this is like the artificer is one of those cases where, depending upon the turn, you're either entirely focused on your spells to do a thing, or you're doing the other thing you've artificed into goodness. So
I mean, I feel that's very similar to the Warlock, because it's like I'm either doing my spell or my other spell or Eldritch Blast.
or I'm blasting. Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, it's just this particular build of the artificer with the lightning, like the lightning punch. Like I'm actually much better at hitting with the lightning punch than I am with the crossbow, but I do way more damage with the crossbow than I do with the lightning punch. So that's why I'm like, I don't want to start using that until I have to, kind of thing.
All right, but the problem is that the lightning stuff is all ranged.
So it's range damage, but it's a I can also actually, you're right. For right now, it's ranged attack. So until I take that crossbow expert feat or whatever, you're 100% right. But I have a +7 to hit, as opposed to what you just bumped me up to with the +5 for the heavy crossbow.
Yeah.
So I mean, like it's an additional like 10% on a D20 roll to hit with that, even with disadvantage. So,
I mean, I'm not.
and also like my damage for the lightning punch is a D6 +4, as opposed to
Yeah, it's
a D10
it's weird
+5. So
yeah. I mean, so it could be. I mean, you could roll a 6 and whatever, but even that.
right. No. So if I rolled max, it would be half for the other one. But I'm just saying, for like, if the creature's away from me, which it has been up until this point, which you just closed in on me, that's why I've been opting for the heavy crossbow attack.
Yeah, I mean, I'm even looking at it, trying to think of like when you use the infiltrator, because it looks like it's based on your dex. Now,
Well,
is that something?
Yeah, the infiltrator would be great, but the problem is because my armor is magical, whether via infusion or just naturally, I can't use an infusion to make it more magical. You can only use infusions on non-magic items, so I can't bump that up further, and that's kind of like the limitation of the artificer, right? Is like I mean, if there was no limit to what you could do, you could make it crazy. But that's why I'm kind of trying to develop this like multi approach technique where, like,
I mean,
if
you
I'm
could
gonna
argue
go
that about
range, I do
any of the
this.
classes. Technically, like you could be a rogue, and then it's just like nothing personnel kid, and then dead.
So my thought is this: is that,
Teleports
like,
behind you.
if I get the opportunity to, like, as a feat, either take the archery, like the fighter archery, which bumps up any of my ranged attacks by 2, I may take that, or I may take the crossbow attack that allows me to attack with no disadvantage, because attacking with disadvantage with a +9, which is what it would be. I mean, it's a fucking +9, right? Like I've got a pretty good swing there, or no disadvantage, but I keep my attack where it's at, and then I wait until the next ability to like jump up and then grab that +2. So I don't know which way I'll go with that, but it'll be one of those two things, and then the next one will be the other.
Yeah. Kind of a great weapon master sort of thing with the
exactly.
D6 versus D10.
Exactly. Or D12, isn't it? Oh
No,
no, D10. You're right. D12. Yep, you're right. Sorry. I get excited. I'm like, no, it's a D10.
Yeah.
No. Oh no, it's not.
Hey, it's question. I should buy a boat. Tinker's up.
Oh, wait, no. I thought you were gonna swing at me. I thought you moved up to swing at me.
Oh, he did, and he didn't.
Oh. Well, that's fun because Tinker is going to.
I do want to specify it was because of your blur.
Nice.
He definitely would have crushed you.
20, 25, 30. Tinker's going to run over here and be like, hey, Quinoa. I'm sorry.
Hey, Quinoa. Get him off my back.
And then he's going to shoot twice. Oh, I think that's a hit.
Probably. Yep.
20, 22. All right. And come on, good number. All right, not bad. That's 10 points of damage. Is he dead?
Okay. He is not.
Ah, shit. All right. I'll shoot again. Give me a number. That's a bad number. That's a terrible number.
That is not going to hit.
Yeah, I'm going to just say next turn, please. See you later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what happened. I pulled it back, but it just go boom.
It must have had another Nerf dart stuck in the chamber. You cranked it all back, and then it's just like boop. You have to tip the crossbow forward so that both of the bolts fall out.
Put it up, put it down, put it up.
That's a hit, and that is not a hit. It's too high.
Oh, not do it. Oh, 16 more points of damage.
No, it's not 16. It's only 13. But 13 is enough to get this mark.
All right, hold on. I have a question. So total damage on the first one, 6. Oh,
Yep.
because it lost 3 points on the other one because you don't do genie damage on the. Okay, all right.
Because you only get it once per turn.
Okay, only once per turn. Okay, that's why I was like, I thought I did the math right. That's a 6 and a 10.
Yes.
I don't know. Okay, now I understand. Okay. I will turn towards. I don't even know. Mr. Morningstar and be like,
Oh, thanks. I appreciate not being dead. Thank you.
I took that comment and I'm nodding, and I couldn't say anything. I was trying to say something clever, being like or being a dick, but nope. You're welcome. That's what will come out.
See how he's mad and I'm not. That's being a dick.
That's being a dick. Well, I don't know about that. I'm just happy I'm not dead. Happy it's not another one of those goddamn giant monks, ape monks, whatever they were.
I thought you were gonna say thank you to him in his own voice.
Oh, thank you, in your own voice, in your own mind.
Oh,
What I can portray to you.
I've definitely heard it for more than a minute. That's for sure.
Yes.
So I think the spell points thing is definitely up to me, Tom, and Chris. And of course, Kevin, for you bringing it up and allowing it ultimately, but or voting to go. 'Cause, 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 if we're just taking the existing spell slots and then converting them to spell points, like mine would be, I would have 10 points at this level because I have 2 third level packed slots. And then Tom is rounded up, so he benefits from this a bit sooner, I think, because it rounds up, so he's considered a third level spellcaster because he's like 2.5. So they just round you up to 3. So you would get 14 spell points. And then
But how does
Chris,
Warlock work?
Warlock,
You know?
they get 2 spell slots like they get 2 spell points every 2 levels or something like that. Because it would be well, just to keep it the same, so it would be at first level, I don't know, I just closed the book too, hold on. So they're not considered, like, they're casters, but they're not considered, like, they don't really have like a spell level, I think. I'm not sure the right word for it.
Yeah. Right, because they can only go up to 5th anyway, right?
Yeah, and then eventually they get
They
third
can
and
get
fourth,
other things, but what are
and
you doing?
then it's considered a feature after
Right.
that.
So those you just kind of get as you get them.
Let me just bring up duplicate, and then warlock, and then just to go by level. Okay, it's not going to show up in search. I have to go through. Alright, so at first level they would only have 2 points because they have 1 spell slot of first level, and then 2 they would get 4, and then they have 2 spell slots and it goes to second level, so then they have 6, and then 6 for 4th, and then it jumps up to 3rd, which we're at now, so that would be 10. So it's like I get 2 points every 2 levels. Until
But then how does using them work? Because you would still have to... Would you still have to cast?
it would give me the ability to cast lower level spells, but I still have the same amount of, like, it's a broken down spell slot, so I could cast it
Right.
I could cast either 5 first level spells at this current level, or I could just do 2 third level spells, and those are my options. Where Chris would have a lot more options because, being a sorcerer, not only would he have sorcery points and spell points be equal 1-to-1, like a 1-to-1 ratio, because he'll be converting anyway, so it shouldn't be too difficult for him. And if it is, then don't choose sorcerer. But so he would have 14 spell points, same as Tom, but he also took 2 levels in Warlock, and this is where it would get confusing. So he would get, because he has 2 axe slots, and both of those are just worth 2 points each, so he has a total of 14 points to do whatever with. If he's using, I'm pretty sure it's the rule that you can use act slots and spell slots interchangeably, unless it specifically says like needs to use a warlock spell slot or something like that. That would be the only confusing part. So I would have 10, Tom has 14, and then Chris has 18. But if he were to stay, like if he was pure sorcerer at this level, he would have 27 spell points.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, at 20th level, you would have a total of 133. So, and then that gives you the ability to cast multiple 9th level spells, multiple 8th level, like, just broken down by.
Is there a max though for spell points that like you can only spend so many per like per caster level kind of thing?
It would be like.
Yes.
Let's see.
There is like a max spell level. Like at 9th level, you can only cast 5th level spells.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I just meant like if he had access to like as a 20th level caster 9th level spells, he couldn't use all his points to only cast 9th level spells. He could or she could have to break
No,
that
he
out.
could, but like
9th level spells are worth 13 points.
right.
Is what it says here. And
So I mean, you
at
could
that level,
you could have 10 of them,
Well, so that I mean that like
and that's
like
kind of the
core
idea.
Rules, yeah, core rules. I think that is broken, right? Because even if you're facing a 20th CR creature, that creature, even if it has access to 9th level spells, can only cast so many 9th level spells. It can't say I'm spending all of my like arcane powers to cast 9th level spells. Like there's a limit to it.
Says who? Mine can.
I mean, it says the fucking rules. I mean, that's just.
Well, that's
like,
the whole thing is that this is like additional rules, and this is like breaking down the spell slots to. Like,
I mean, you're basically.
Whatever.
I mean, for that you would be giving up, like. I mean.
Would like
two 3rd levels and a 2nd level.
But
you know,
right,
it's kind of like draft picks. You're trading up.
I'm just saying that like if you could cast a meteor swarm, like I don't know if that's a 9th level spell in 5th edition or not, but if you could cast a meteor swarm, and normally you could only cast one, but now you could cast 4 of those, like because you sacrificed all of your lower level spell slots. That seems like you've just made a spellcaster that much more OP, and with the power creep, that seems bad.
It's quicker.
It seems bad for everybody who's not casting spells, right? So like if you're a fighter, if you're a barbarian, if you're whatever, like I mean, unless you're the barbarian that we were talking about earlier, last canon that says like, yeah, hit me with that radiant spell that does double damage to me, because now I'm gonna do like if I hit a crit,
he'll definitely be dead before any of that happens. So don't worry about that.
I'm not gonna lie. If Tinker dies, I want to make the glass cannon barbarian to just see what happens, just so that and just max out his con. That's the only con and strength. Those are the only 2 things I want to max out on that character, so that if it survives 1 to 5 hits before it gets to go, it just kills whatever it hits immediately at that point. It's just like done. Next.
I mean, we're talking about 20th level characters, so if you go to the 11th level, you get your choice of the normal array, or you can choose to spend 10 5th level spell slots, and then that's your choice to do so. And then if you're complaining to the party, hey, I need a long rest because I just did the most powerful thing I could over and over and over again. I just spammed 5th level fireball for every encounter, and now I have no spell points. It's like, alright, you didn't really use those points up because you need to do that per long rest.
No, that's fair. But how does that compare to like the 20th level, conjuration wizard or abjuration wizard who's going to cast a 20th level fireball? How many times can the wizard do that?
It's still capped at 9, but it's also dependent. It's put on a limit based on the amount of points you have left.
Oh, okay. All right.
So it's you're right that they could do something crazy over and over again, but that's the whole thing is like, you guys, for example, on Saturday, you guys still have another pirate ship that isn't too far away, that is just right in the bay.
Right.
And your spellcasters are pretty much
Tapped. Yeah. I mean,
Tapped right
as a
now.
spellcaster, yes.
and it's just that I needed to throw so much at you to get you to that point. You're probably going to take a long rest anyway before even going in there if you can manage it. But then, you know, it would have been easier to have you guys expend everything if you were to able to do super powerful stuff, and all of a sudden you just like kept using 5th level spell slots against these guys. Like, what level are you guys? You guys are 7th, so
Yeah.
4. So it's either I could have you cast all of your spells over and over again, or see, at 7th level you have 38 points. 6. So you could do 6 4th level spells.
Mm.
You know, so it's either that you could do your most powerful version of 6 spells, or you can just spread it out. But it's an idea.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. I wasn't knocking the. Just that, like, my concern was that once you hit a certain, like level, a concept, that your ability to do that, kind of goes crazy. Like, if you're playing a classic spellcaster, your access to 9th level spells or 8th level spells is at most 1 to 2, and I was just curious if that was giving you access to more, because if it is, like, I mean, like, if you're casting Wish and you're just recasting Wish multiple times to create that effect, that, like, I mean, that's crazy. But if you have even more affect or connectedness to do that again, because you're like, yeah, I don't have to cast like lower level spells, that really creates an imbalance for that spellcaster. That's all.
Yeah. I mean, one more idea is, for sorcerer, they limit you with your sorcery points and your spell slots. They limit you to only handling that with 5th level or lower. Anything over, you can't convert.
Okay.
So that's how they cap it with sorcerer.
Okay.
So
Yeah. You know what? Like again, like, I feel like I feel, for me personally, I feel like this is one of those things that's a lot like the additional stuff and things that can go with a crit or a crit fail. That,
I mean,
that if you're down with, then roll with, and if you don't like, then you don't like.
if that's the concern, we could take that 5th level cap, and even if whoever has access to 9th level spells, they can convert it to spell points, and then it can't go the other way. It doesn't work like sorcery points. You know what I mean? Sorcery points, you can sacrifice a spell slot for sorcery points, and vice versa. It goes both ways. But if you wanted to make a cap on spell points, you just say, all right, you're gonna sacrifice this 9th level spell so that you can cast so many more spells at lower level. You're okay with that? And they go yes. And it's like, all right, you've removed that. You get the spell points, and now it's like, oh, I want to put my 9th level spell back, and you're like, nope, it doesn't. You've already sacrificed it. You've spent it. Mark it off.
That makes sense to me. If you're willing to like in my mind, like, casting a 9th level spell is a huge expenditure of your kind of magic fortitude, right? Like, whatever your essence is that you're putting into it. So the idea of saying that rather than cast a 9th level spell, I'm going to use that same power, convert it into spell points, and then use those spell points to cast lower level spells, but now I have the ability to do that far more often. That makes sense to me. Like, that's cool. My concern was access to extremely high level spells at more frequency than what the sort of like mechanics of the game allow, because I thought that would really kind of offset the power balance of a spellcaster at that point.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it in that way, it does make sense, where it's something like, how long do combats usually last? It's usually not, definitely, like, generally not more than 6 rounds. And if
6
someone's
sessions, but-
casting, you're right. That's what I said too. Unfortunately. But
Well,
with
I'm
that,
just saying, like, if
No,
you have
it's
if you
like-
have a spellcaster that
where
can
it's
cast-
just not happening all the time, like, if it's because the thing lasts for, the combat lasts only, like, let's say 4 or 5 rounds, and if you have the ability to cast, exclusively 9th level, it's just like you're going to. And it's just like, yeah, that's a fair point, because then it's not like, oh, I had a good round, or like, oh, I held this until the right moment. It's just like, no, crushed.
It's the power word spells, right? Like, if you're casting
take a nap.
power word stun, power word kill, power word blind,
Yeah.
and you can just keep doing that, like,
Why?
you're so much more powerful than anything else on the map at that point. Like, I mean, it
Right.
doesn't matter. Like, the fighter runs up, and if he misses, he's either dead, blind, or stunned. And then the next person starts to do a thing, and you're like, oh, you too? Deaf, blind, stunned. Like, or, like, whatever it is. Like, that's that was my concern with this, is that, like, if there wasn't some kind of power cap, like level cap to this, it gives casters who are already, like, the head of the power creep, because of just, I mean, you're using fucking the innate powers of the universe to bend to your will, as opposed to just, like, I stab and slash you. Like, there's got to be
but
some
4
kind of
times a
respect for it.
round.
Again, that's cool, but
Fighters.
there's 4-1.
modifier.
Listen, 4-1s
not
as opposed to a spell that does like 12d8, and you're gonna take it even if you fail. Like if you're casting the right spells, even if you don't have to roll anymore, you're making some. They succeed, they're still taking damage, because you're not casting suck spells at that point. You're casting spells that do damage, because you're like, oh, what? Doesn't matter. Here you go. Meteor swarm. Here you go.
Marshals are at like high level are more like dependable at dealing consistent damage, because they have all the pluses to their attacks
okay.
and have like multiple attacks. Where you can spend a huge spell and you're like, here it comes, and you're like, look at all those 1s and 2s, and I'm gonna go cry now, and I spent my this level spell. And granted, it can go the other way too, where you're like, I just did 100 damage, but
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It might be something where it's just like, I mean, the whole reason that we were just like, let's stick with 5th edition is not to, do too crazy into learning too much stuff. Also, we have to remember that you guys have all of these extra awards. I don't know if we actually doled them out yet. Next week might be a good time to talk about it, to the rankings and stuff. I know you guys have already had some people grab some stuff, but I don't know if there was maybe a thought process of maybe let's look at it again and see if maybe we'll switch to this person here, anything like that. So
I think next week will be a good regroup for that, just for recaps, etc. So 100%. And again, I'm sorry, like, I think that if we want to try out like the spell point thing, 100%, let's try it out. Like, I'm not saying no to it. I just, having played in a number of different games or different systems, and they're like realizing power creeps and whatnot, and the sort of natural, like, especially for D&D, the natural disparity that happens, with like spellcasters versus marshals. I just think that there needs to be some sort of cap to the expenditure of spell points, because if it's just left too far open, it will create like a huge problem for both player characters that are fighting casters and you as a DM facing player characters who are casters, kind of thing.
hey, his casters can do crazy shit too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
like if there's not a
And-
if there's not a way to control it, like there was an animated short that was on Adult Swim a while ago. Like at this point, fucking I don't even know how long ago. And it was called like Korg the Barbarian or whatever. And it was a very like Conan-esque thing.
It was one episode.
It was one episode. Yep, you know it, right? You've got it. But like
It was so good.
and it was so good, right? But like the idea is that
You
like, if you watch
rewatch it,
that-
and then
yeah,
the fucking wizard, and just like, what is happening?
and you
It's like
stab
I
through
need
the
so
eyeballs,
much
yeah.
more of this, and it's
Yeah.
just like
It
you get
just never
none.
happened. It just
Idiot.
never happened. Yes, yeah, it sucked. But it sucked for that sense. But the idea just being that like casters are so powerful that if a marshal didn't get the drop on them or just get the benefit or have some like weird boon, there's nothing a marshal could do against a caster. And like if you create a world where that's the thing, then that's fine. But 5e on its pretext is not that, right? Like it's a system where like a marshal can potentially engage a caster at any level and have like a chance to survive. And so that's my only concern about it, is that like if we give the casters, and as a partial caster in this game, I mean I don't want to shoot myself in the foot, but like I don't want to OD it. It was kind of like when we were playing Strahd, and I forget what book came out. A book came out and somebody was like, yeah, I want to use this for my character, or like I'm looking at this for my character, and I was like, I need a chance to review this because my experience in the past is Wizards of the Coast starts doing a power creep really fast in an edition, and if you're grabbing something that makes it so crazy that it doesn't work, that I need to look at it first. The plus side for 5th edition is they've done a great job for not making that happen. But just that's always a concern, because it's like, oh, well, I'm just going to play like
Except
this thing.
then I see Ranzador jump 15 feet up, and all I can think of is, why can't I do that?
Well, because you're not a rabbit.
Yeah.
But hold on well, you guys do what you want. I'll be right back.
Okay, bye, Tom.
Right,
I'm gonna call it quits because I can keep talking about this forever. So
right, exactly.
There's still
Like
work to do.
I feel like it might just be something where it's just like we'll have to play with this at a different time, because I feel like that might be, we'll just leave it as is for now. Because my thing with like the whole idea with warlocks is that they only get so many, and yeah, with it only being 10. So where did you find that though? I couldn't find that. But yeah,
I just used the existing one, and then I used that page, and all I did was convert the spell slots that are available at that level. And just
oh, okay, yeah.
points
Duh.
instead.
So you just did the thing that you would have to do anyway.
And the thing is, even though I have 10 points, and Chris has like 18 at this level, if I take a short rest, I get all 10 back, where if he
Right.
gets a short rest, he gets 4 back. So, because
Right.
of the warlock. So, or he just starts with 27 and then can't rest if he was a full sorcerer. So it's like,
Right.
it's an interesting idea, and I like some of the additional rules in the back of the DMG. It's just,
I mean, it's nice when you hear that stuff where it's just like, okay, so that means every like short rest, I've almost caught up in number of spells, because it's 10, I recover 10, and so now I'm at 20 versus 27. It's comparable.
right. And so if I break this down, like 10 can be one level 1, one level 2, and then a third level, and then you're even. Like that's just, you get 1, 2, 3. That's it. So,
Yep.
like you can break it out in different ways, and yeah.
So I was just thinking as I stepped away that Kevin and I had started talking about like an equilateral system based around the what shit, Kevin? It was Seven Deadly Sins. Was that the anime we were just talking about before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started doing like a power creep chart. This is fucking what 5-6 years ago. Thinking about that. That like, what if you looked at like damage based upon level per character class as the most you can do is X. And so if a wizard at level 1 can a D10 damage, then so can a fighter or like a martial of some sort. And then building it that way as it continues, so that like if the max damage a wizard can do at level 20 is, or like a spellcaster can do is 20 D10, then a martial can do that as well. And then rather than like trying to figure out what the techniques are or whatever, you do the damage first and then you come up with titles for it. And like I did this whole like exchange of power, this whole thing, and then I started thinking, I'm like, well, yeah, but like for a martial, you break that out and you're like, instead of like one-on-one effect, you start doing area effects. And I'm like, yeah, but for spellcasters, you could do that too. So you could do an AoE, and so a fighter could do an AoE, like a ground stomp or something, or like a what was the fighter from not Imogen? What was the guy from Bleach that did like the 1,000 cut as his technique? I can't think.
Thousand
Sorry.
cut Byakuga Kuchiki.
That maybe that was the dude, but like if
Byakuya.
that was, yeah, so if that was your thing, like 1,000
Scatter.
was your
Senbonzogura.
that was your thanks. That was your 20th level technique. So
Cherry
instead of
Blossom.
doing like 20 D10, you did 10 D10, but you did 10 D10 against like 10 different targets or something like that. So and I started to write that out, and like at about like the 30th like chart I had drawn out, I was like, this is too much. I don't want to deal with this anymore. But
Me just want swing hurt things.
I was like, I just want to roll dice.
That's why me
Barb.
Barbarian.
It's difficult to have those things line up exactly together, and that's why
Yeah.
they're different, because then it make it equal damage output. Eventually, you're just putting flavor on something. You're like, well, I'm doing it with the fireball. And it's like, well, I'm doing it with the sword, but you're just doing like the same thing.
Well,
Right.
But
I move my magic sword. I move my body that holds my magic sword.
well, that was what I liked about 13th edition, and we never got to do that.
13th edition?
13th age. Sorry, 13th age. Like TJ, I know you and I talked
missed a
about this
couple.
a little bit. Yeah. Where are we right now? What? But it was basically like, if you were a spellcaster, pick a spell, and by pick a spell, like choose an effect, and then these are the damage types it can do, based upon your level, and this is what like its growth pattern is, and then until you level up, that's what your effect is. Are you a fighter? All right, so your abilities are X, and it was very laid out, but it was, rather than saying like, let's pick spells that do like very different things, you as a player character pick what you're going to do, but pick what you're going to do, right? Like if you're going to be an ice caster, then all your spells are ice, but figure it out with this. And for me, I thought that was a lot more freeing, right? Like I just, as a player, I thought that was a lot cooler than being like, here's my list of like, the 30 first level spells I can pick from. I'll pick what I want. Instead, I could be like, no, I'm going to pick spells that do X and Y, and these are the damage types, or this is the reach, or this is the distance, or whatever for these spells. So let's do it. So I like that idea, but I like it being like kind of across the format. So whether you're a caster or you're a martial, here's what you can choose from for damage types. Pick what you want and then go from there, kind of thing.
yeah, I've had some friends say that they're against like spell slots in general. That you're doing some like, some spells, and if you watch Harry Potter or something like that, and they do like 4 spells, and they're like, I gotta take a nap. You're like, that's kind of lame. So they're just like, if you have an ability, have an ability, and then, or like, if there's anything that exhausts you, have it be huge and amazing, rather than You can't
Yeah.
do this thing that seems simple anymore. And so the idea from Open Legend, when I played that with a different group, it was pretty cool how they allowed you to flavor it in different ways, but you could build a character around multiple attack, area attack, and then paint it how you wanted to. And then you can say, like, this one's a sorcerer, and then you end up making a character so specific that you do damage in a particular way that you built the character for. And if someone else built it in a different way, you can flavor it the same, but you have innate different abilities.
Yeah.
So
I think that that's a cool, like, I think that that's cool because it a lot, like, it. So if you're like, I want to be an ice druid, but I have access to all druid spells, are you really an ice druid, right? If I want to be a necromancer, but I have access to all spells outside of necromancy, am I really a necromancer, right? So I like the idea of somebody being super focused. It's the same idea as like a fighter who's like, I've chosen a weapon and I'm going to become the best I can at this weapon. Okay, I'm a caster and I'm going to be the best I can at this, either school or particular spell, right? Like I cast Ice Knife, but I cast Ice Knife at a degree that nobody else can, and it will destroy you if it hits you, kind of thing. So, but yeah.
Yeah, you worry about like what TJ was saying, and then I'm out of here. But where it's like everyone, it's just kind of, if everyone's doing the same thing, it's just kind of adding flavor. But also, why would you ever choose a caster if you can do the same sort of stuff but with way more HP? Not to say that there's stuff that the martial and stuff doesn't need to get to, like, because I know one of the 4th edition things was the fighter could run up, and this, I think this was always the case, like with 2nd edition, like you were talking about with Power Creep, Tom, and how like the fighters at the end were just kind of there to carry the bags of everyone, all the spellcasters. And it's like, okay, no, yes, my lord, and just following along.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an excellent fireball, sir. And that's just what fighters get reduced to. And then it's like, I'm going to go up and control this battle. And it's just like teleport. And it's like, well, since everything teleports from level, 20 on in 4th edition when you went to 30, it's like, then, I mean, I can't keep up. Like, unless I'm able to teleport alongside or stop it or something like that. And if you can't do that, then it's just like, well, I'm not even able to affect the battle, let alone, have any part.
I do like the idea of a bunch of fighters, like a party of like 4 or 5, where like, 3 are casters, 2 are fighters. They're carrying the bags. The casters get spent and destroy the big baddie, and then the fighters are like, this is our moment. And they kill the casters, and they're like, yeah, it's too bad. Tiamat killed all the casters, and we survived. We are the champions and the Lord. That's why we were in the background. That's why we were chaotic evil the whole time. So.
Nice.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen.
All
We'll
right,
see you Saturday.
All right.
Yes.
Later on.
Later.
Wait, this Saturday are we Tomb or are we doing something?
I imagine Tomb. TJ's gone, but I imagine it's Tomb.
2 minutes. All right. Cool.
All right. Later.
All right. Later on.